just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, Tapper, and it's finally time for Super Bowl 57. The only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Download FanDuel now and use promo code Happer so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line, point spreads, who will score a touchdown, and you know they're going big for the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, you can bet it on the spread, the money line, player props, Super Bowl MVP, and anything in between. Endless props for you on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. No sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. All you got to do is use the promo code Happer, and you get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. You can do it on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use, and you get paid out instantly. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Oscars Pizza and Sports Grill is your home for the big game. Whether it's the pro football playoffs or a rivalry on the hardwood, you'll find all the action on Oscar's upgraded audio-video system. With 40 TVs and massive dual projectors, the game has never looked better. Pair that with their award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. Oscars Pizza and Sports Grill has everything you need. 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd in Maple.
Find a better kind of used vehicle at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley. The Chevy CPO program ensures a thoroughly inspected, reconditioned 2017 or newer model with less than 75,000 miles. It includes 2 factory-backed warranties and a scheduled maintenance program. And now get 0.9% APR for 36 months or 3.9% APR for 60 months on select CPO vehicles when you finance through GM Financial. Shop with confidence online at WoodhouseGM.com or visit Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley. Woodhouse Chevy, find new roads.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Your 16th ranked Maverick hockey team is back in action and competing for home ice in the NCHC tournament. With your help, they've won 6 conference home games in a row and are top 5 in attendance nationally. Omaha Hockey has 2 home series left. Colorado College, February 10th and 11th, and the home season finale and senior weekend with top 10 ranked St. Cloud. Get your tickets now and let's rock the Baxter. Get your tickets now by calling 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tickets.
Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France, Les Voltaire, for mouth-watering appetizers and entrees, plus melt-in-your-mouth desserts. Dinner with friends, a special occasion, entertaining clients, or just chilling and enjoying French wines and craft cocktails. Les Voltaire will make you feel right at home, just like they've been doing for more than 2 decades. Les Voltaire, just off 156th and West Dodge Road in the Pepperwood Village, and at LesVoltaireOmaha.com. Make your reservation now for a romantic Valentine's dinner, a preset dinner with 2 seatings available.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
A crossover is...
Crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover.
Crossover continues to evolve.
All right. Time for the crossover. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic. What's the topic of the day today?
Do you guys think John Schreiner looks like Scott Frost?
No.
Apparently,
You don't
Old
look
man
like
Doug?
Old man
Old
Doug
man Doug
thinks so.
thinks so.
doesn't look like a guy who should be in jail to me.
Oh,
Put him in jail. Look at that rule. All he has to do is try.
But see, it made me think, what if Scott Frost kind of grew his locks out like John does?
See, that's
I don't know.
See, I used to have like the high fade with the little flat top spiky thing on top.
Doug. Not look. By that method, we all look like Scott Frost.
You're going there.
We all look like Scott.
I got
Frost.
mistaken for Dale Earnhardt Jr. A long time ago.
Okay, I buy that.
okay. I could see that. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, he looks a little like DJ.
I got a free beer out of it. It was cool.
Really?
Yeah,
so you went along with it?
Yeah, we were at a bar in Westport called Kelly's.
Of course.
And
Kelly's
they have the very big beers.
They do.
And I had one sent over to me. And of course, I was in my early 20s. You're thinking, a lady sent me a drink. All right, boys, going to be a fun night tonight. Let's go.
They think you're Dale
And
Jr.
it was a guy way across from the bar. And I think I had a red Cleveland at the time Indian hat on.
Uh-huh.
And so I had it on backwards. And so I think that also enhanced, because I was red.
Nice.
Like your beard.
Nice.
And
had some hair.
I had hair. And as the guy got closer, he like freaked out and he goes, all right, man. I thought you were Dale Earnhardt Jr. Enjoy the free beer, but I thought you were Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's why I said, okay.
Wow.
But I got a free
really sorry
bucket.
what happened to your dad.
that would have been
I remember
hilarious.
watching that day, man.
If they would have said,
Heartbreaking
I mean,
stuff.
what would I have done? Would I have had to kind of like, hey, man, thanks for the beer, and I
You would have
appreciate
just
kind
kept going
words.
along with it.
I
Yeah.
think I would have.
Praise hail, praise Dale.
But yeah, as he
I would've
walked
looked like
closer,
somebody.
he
Yeah.
realized it wasn't him, but I got a free bucket out of it.
Who do
which was
I
great.
look like? I want to have that happen to me.
Everybody always has someone that they
You just got to
can be
find
mistaken
your,
for
find
from
your
afar.
niche
Yeah,
there,
I like
Connor.
to think people would just buy me a beer because I am me.
because you're you,
Yeah.
because you're approachable.
Yeah, I
You know,
am
you have
very
a kind,
approachable.
you have a kind soul.
I don't know if I give off that vibe, but I am very approachable.
You are.
Go ahead, let's chat.
Very approachable.
Maybe a sliced meat enthusiast will buy you a beer.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Living the dream, Hap. Here you go. Have a beer.
Just saying, if you ever get the idea, if you ever see me, it's a situation where you can fire away.
So yeah,
I wouldn't mind a beer.
It was always Scott Frost in high school. Then there was a period where it was Wes from Road Rules, who I have no idea who
Wes?
this
Yeah,
is.
okay,
No, that tracks. Yeah, you do.
So
hang on, I gotta look.
People told me I look like Wes from
You're
Road
far
Rules.
less annoying.
I never watched Road Rules, so I never got it. I know I was not in on the joke.
Oh, that guy looks weird.
Oh,
Kansas City's own.
Oh.
Uh,
The first picture that pops
yeah,
up of
okay.
him, his shirt says "Puppies." Make
yeah,
me
puppies
happy."
make me happy. Yeah.
And the other one, so
Okay.
I grew my hair really long when I was in college, and Jeremy Shockey was a comparison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Jeremy Shockey?
I do remember
Wow.
Jeremy Shockey.
So yeah, I had like
He was a
shoulder
thing.
length hair when I was in college, and so I got some Jeremy Shockey. And then once I've gotten a little older, it's Daniel Craig. That's the one I hear a little bit too.
Jeez.
Yeah,
You
That's
get
pretty
compared
good.
to a lot of important people.
very attractive men, much more attractive than
Jeez.
myself.
Good for you, man.
I got nothing. Over here.
I don't get compared to anybody anymore.
I've had a few.
No, Schaefer gets a lot of them. We sort of look the same.
Oh, yeah.
Schaefer gets like that guy who's the golfer, Shane
Tiger Woods.
Lowry.
Oh yeah,
Lowry.
Shane Lowry.
I
Yep.
like Shane Lowry. But there's something about the people with the red beards.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, red beard. You just don't see that. Turns out there's 3 of them in the studio as we speak. There's a
Yep.
lot of people with red beards, and I guess we all look the same.
I'm gonna
That's
say
okay.
one.
That's not racist.
I'm gonna say one, and I don't want you to take offense.
To me.
Gimli.
Who is Gimli?
Gimli.
He has a single name.
From Lord of the Rings.
Oh no, I don't look like that guy.
So okay,
I don't look like that.
a buddy of
He's
mine.
got a
You
huge-
could if you tried.
huge. No, I couldn't. He's got a huge long beard and long hair, and he looks like Hagrid. I don't. You think I look like this guy?
The eyebrows definitely not.
All right, we're gonna put
Yeah.
out a poll question. Josh, attach this exact picture with it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So a buddy of mine sent me this a while back and said, congratulations. And it was a picture of, I honestly, Connor, I'm going to show you this picture. I thought it was me at a UNO hockey game back when we had to wear like a sport coat and I'd wear a tie.
Yeah.
This is the picture.
Oh,
And
that does look like
and
you.
I thought it was me. It's Matt Stahan. He's an assistant coach for the Calgary Flames.
Anybody ever tell you, hey, you look like
So, yeah, this
Matt
one actually, I'm like,
Stahan?
what the heck? I'm like, oh, I think that is me.
It's great when it fools even you. Like,
Yeah, it
is
did.
that a
For-
picture of me?
For a second, I'm like, when was I ever standing up in the penalty box waving?
It was when you were giving your thank you.
Yeah, when was I ever given a thank you? Like, thanks everybody for coming out and listening to me. And
Well,
you
when
on
you
the
say there's 1
speaker.
minute remaining,
Well, yeah, I've never gotten
and
up
you
and
say
said,
you're
"You're
welcome.
welcome."
Yeah.
But so I had to look this guy up, and when he had hair, we don't even look close.
Hey, do you do that? You're welcome every game.
Yeah, and that was before. That was not me. That was so Fred Brooks was the original PA announcer for UNO hockey.
Freddie.
And that was a thing that was established when UNO hockey started, and so it got passed down to each PA announcer.
I do it every once in a while because the band's always super into it, and if it's the right moment, I'll drop in a thank you, and they get really excited because I only probably do it about 3 or 4 times a year.
You guys ever do drive home safely?
Yeah, at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I give a drive home safely.
I did PA for Omaha Soccer a couple of times.
Yeah.
And when you do the 1 minute remaining, even the soccer crowd.
Oh, they'll say thank you. Yeah. So this
I did a Nick Hanley. You're welcome for that one too.
The people were pissed. They wanted one of the former associate ADs wanted us to phase out of it.
Really?
So they said, "Don't say you're welcome,"
Because
they
horrible.
They thought it was kind of cheesy. He said, "So don't
that's
say
the
you're
point.
welcome."
Really
I know.
cheesy.
That's the
and I
point.
said, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, don't say it."
So you did it? You tried?
So I didn't for 2 periods, and then I got a text from that same person. Goes, "Go ahead and do it," because they were. I guess they were getting.
They were rioting.
slaughtered.
They were rioting in the stands.
Yeah, I guess they were like, "What the hell is this?" And of course, they're like, "Did he forget to say it?" And I'm not going to be like, "I didn't forget. I was told not to." I threw them under the bus. I said I was specifically told not to.
Very good.
And so
No, you got to uphold your reputation.
Yeah,
on
hell
that.
no. I ain't
Yeah.
taking the. I'm not taking the bullet on that one.
That wasn't your choice. That's for sure. A couple texts here. First of all, I don't know if this is already out, Josh. Poll question: do you remember Jeremy Shockey? That's a good one.
Mhm.
Also, Hap looks like Sheamus from WWE.
Sheamus.
Maybe.
How does he spell Sheamus? Is it S-E?
I
Or
think
is
there's a
it
difference in
SH?
build. It's an SH.
SH, okay.
There's a difference
Like
in
Sheamus
build.
McKnight?
And you're not that pasty, Connor.
Sheamus and WWE.
I don't look like that guy.
Let me look.
I don't look like that guy.
No.
That's a racism.
No.
I think I don't look
That guy
like
looks more.
anybody.
That guy looks more like Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah.
And I don't think you look like Yukon Cornelius.
I could definitely do a Yukon
could do it.
Cornelius.
You could.
Yeah.
I
You
think
can pull it off.
you could pull it off.
That would be. I would actually want to be like Yukon Cornelius.
You should go
That's my favorite.
as
character.
Yukon Cornelius for Halloween.
Cornelius. You should.
I should.
Get a big old puffy.
really should.
You could pull that off.
They'd
It's-
probably be a little scared if I was walking around with an ice pick
yeah, the ice axe thing.
and licking it like
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sort of weird, but I would actually enjoy that. If someone was like, "Hey, you look like Yukon Cornelius," I'd be like, "Hell yeah, thank you."
I'm going to ask a really stupid question here. Why did he lick the ice pick?
He was tasting for gold.
He was chasing for gold.
Is that what it was? Okay. I always wondered.
That's
yeah,
how
because
he-
I knew he was looking for gold. I was always wondering, like, why is he tasting his axe?
That's how he tracked.
Okay. That was how 7-year-old Nick thought. Those are the questions that came to his mind.
Tom says Happer looks like Louis Anderson.
No,
no
you don't.
way. That's insulting.
Bad
take.
That is insulting.
What are we doing?
don't.
I do not look like that
That
guy.
is insulting. Don't
I
do
love
that to Connor.
Louis Anderson in Coming to America. Just a real brief
Yeah,
brief appearance.
Just working at McDowell's.
At McDowell's. Yeah.
Token white guy.
Yeah.
that was one of the movies I watched when I was sick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So did you watch it multiple times or just once?
Just once.
Okay.
Just once.
Did you let your soul glow?
It's a great movie.
It is a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I haven't seen the second one, though.
I haven't either.
The remake.
The reboot.
I don't know
yeah,
that I'm
the
interested.
reboot. Did,
Not missing anything.
okay, good.
Don't call it a rebuild.
I was looking right at Josh when I was saying I hadn't because I was waiting for any type of confirmation on that.
Perfectly mediocre.
Okay. Ray, Connor looks like Orko from the Masters of the Universe movie.
Wait, let me see this.
That's an animated thing. What are you talking about? I don't look like
Well,
that.
so
guy.
is Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah, but I mean, he at least looks like a person.
How do you wait? No,
I think it's
it's
a
a
bit
ghost. It's not. There's no face.
He has like a wizard hat on.
Yeah. So now we're just
It's a bit now.
anything
It's a
that
bit.
doesn't have a face.
Yeah.
Connor could, I mean, technically look like it if we remove the mask. Okay.
Connor looks
If we
like
wanna
the
play that-
T-1000 when he turns into silver in the Terminator 2 movie.
Yeah. You know, the guy who plays
Connor looks like this guy.
The guy who's got the Jimmy Carter mask on in Point Break looks like Connor. When you take his mask off, they don't look anything alike. But yeah, with the mask on, it's totally Connor.
Oh man, I never knew this guy's name, but he just popped up on this Google search. Wallace Shawn. I
know the name.
This is out of the. He's the guy who. He talks really weird.
Yep.
Inconceivable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I like that guy.
You know, another underrated role for him was when he was the blackjack dealer in Vegas Vacation.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Nick.
Yes. When he goes,
changing 500.
how about you give me half your money? I kick you in the nuts and we call it good.
The teacher from Clueless.
Yes, yeah.
This is an underrated guy. Wow, we need him back. Where did he go?
Do you think?
I mean, he's 79, so
Yeah, get him back working.
Does Clueless get its due propers?
it doesn't. It's a terrific movie.
It is a good
really
movie.
good.
It's a really good movie.
I let
Paul
all the
Rudd.
characters.
Paul
are
Rudd
named
looks
after
exactly the same
famous
as he did then.
singers.
Yeah.
Cher and
Dion.
Dion, yeah. It was so good.
Maybe
And the guy's name is Elton.
Jesus, Elton, can't you suck?
Connor, your guy has been in 46 episodes of Young Sheldon, so that's where he's been. Where Wallace has been.
He's making some good money, I think.
Not watching that.
Young Sheldon. I just realized in Young Sheldon that actually the guy who plays Sheldon, what's his?
The young version of Sheldon.
He actually narrates it though.
Oh yeah, what is
Like
that
when I
guy's
was
name?
young, it's actually Sheldon. I didn't realize that it accidentally came on in our house. I'm like, oh God, what is this? Young Sheldon? And I didn't realize
before
that.
Chad. Probably.
Chad's done, right?
I don't know.
There's no more Chad
I doubt it. Yeah, I hope not.
until March Madness. Until one shining moment.
Texture says maybe Louis C.K. I don't look like Louis C.K. I don't know if I want to look like Louis C.K.
no, you don't want that.
And you don't. You don't.
Not really. I
What's
don't
it-
see it.
Yeah. No, I don't look like that guy. Once again, just
I feel like there's got to be.
because he has red hair or a red beard,
I feel
or
like there's got to be a baseball player that we're missing with the beard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of baseball.
Justin
players out
Turner.
there. See, I could buy that.
Yeah.
More than half the people that have been brought up in the last 5 minutes.
That's one of the better ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that red though. You know, I have a red beard, but I'm not like I don't think that I'm a true ginger. Yeah,
How do you figure?
that's right. Yeah, let's talk
Whoa.
about this.
How do you figure?
Okay.
I don't think that
Here's
I'm a
the
true,
take.
I don't think that I'm a true ginger. My hair isn't light enough. I don't think my skin is light enough. I don't think I'm fair skinned enough.
But is that the definition of a ginger?
I don't know.
I think the definition of a ginger is the tint of your hair color. And I
That's
feel
it.
like you
I
check
think now
that box.
the lightness of the skin has to go in there somewhere.
but you know, there's when people
Is there a frequency of freckles?
yeah, which I have a lot of. good pull question.
Those are the souls.
Um,
You have that many souls.
So like you see a ginger and you say that guy's a ginger and he has like orange hair, right?
No,
not every time.
No,
I just think I'm maybe I'm a.
Are you thinking like the kid from Problem Child?
Maybe I'm a darker ginger. I don't know.
I'm just trying to understand this.
So I got this all the
I
time
think
too.
I think you're
but I
a
don't-
proud member of our ginger community.
I don't actually
I was trying to get out
have-
for a long.
I'm
portion of
I'm
time.
very salty on the beard right now, but I mean, yeah, I embrace my ginger heritage.
Ginge
I don't
Nation.
have actually red
Ginge,
hair.
Ginge Nation.
No, you don't.
Rise
But you
up.
just have a red
I
beard.
have a red beard. I had red hair when I was like a little kid.
So I think you're out.
I'm a day walker.
I had super red hair when I was little. It got a little bit more strawberry blonde, but again, I always said, yeah, I'm a ginger.
No.
When that became a thing, it wasn't like a little kid, and that was even talked about.
South Park.
Till South Park.
South Park ruined
It
that.
did.
I just think about the whitest people.
Well, I'm pretty white too.
Just
though.
clip that
I'm
out,
pretty
Josh.
pale.
I just think about the whitest people.
Like they're so white.
Pale.
They're so pale.
Creamy.
I don't know. I just
Nah,
feel,
yeah, it's
I feel like I
and if that's one of your definitions, that I also check that box because I'm pretty pale.
Seamus is creamy.
Yeah.
very white.
Mhm.
Very white. I'm not that white.
No.
Well,
Thank you.
Orko, we can't tell because Orko just has eyeballs, and then it's just like a
yeah,
shadow.
We don't. I don't.
We don't know
where
what's
that one
you,
came from.
if you remove that hat and whatever's covering the mouth. I don't know what Orko's going to look like.
Connor Happer looks like Cringer before he turns into Battle Cat.
about as
Happer's Beam
good.
guy says Alexi Lawless.
Okay.
Trying to be Alexi Lawless.
No,
I think that's more you than anybody else, Nick.
Alexi
Yeah,
Lawless
more
has
Nick.
like a real pointy chin, though.
What the hell are you trying to say,
He's
John?
got a pointy chin.
I have a pointy chin.
He does. We got round faces. He's
Yeah.
got a pointy chin.
Pointy chin.
Which I mean, that's a good thing.
Sculpted features.
Yeah, no. The only reason I have a beard is because my face is so fat and it blends into. That's why I look so dumb without a beard. Oh man, have you guys ever seen me without a beard?
I think
Can't
I did.
confirm.
I know I have.
You shaved
And
it
I think
recently.
I think I remember you saying you did because of a
1 year
mistake.
ago. 1 year ago, it was a complete mistake, and it was a hard time in my life.
Yeah, I got a jaw like a horseshoe, so I don't shave mine off.
That's exactly right.
A horseshoe.
It masks some things.
Yeah,
it's really important, and you deal with you deal with the itchy face 100% of the time.
Yeah, but you get used to it at some point.
You do,
and you don't go neck beard. I know we talked about this before too when you were talking about
it's
beard maintenance.
clean.
By the way, did you just get the beard trimmed up? Looks like it.
He did.
Thank you, Nick. I did.
Yeah, I thought you did. Yeah.
Thanks for noticing.
Is it nice when for me, I was never able. Like it's been over 10 years. Like so, no one. Oh, did you just shave your head? Or when you get a haircut, you want people to notice it back in the day when I had hair. But now it's like, okay, it's either a beard trim or, oh, your head's a little shiny. Did you just shave it today? It's like, that's not what I want to do. As far as grooming, like, I don't have a fresh fade or anything. Like,
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor, you like to talk about things that we're not doing anymore. Like these are the things we shouldn't do.
Yeah.
The beard fade, where it's like at the top and it fades in from the cheekbone.
The Alex Gordon beard.
Don't do that.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I like
looks
it.
ridiculous.
It doesn't look ridiculous.
I
It's
think,
great.
Think about
I think it
this.
looks like
Think
you've
about
got
this.
a beard dude who knows what he's doing. Or she.
When you get
I
a
don't know who's
fade
doing
on
it.
your head, right? It goes from the place at the bottom of your neck longer at the top,
That's
right? When people fade the beard, it goes from
you reverse
the
it.
top is short and
Yeah.
it's longer at the bottom.
But
it looks weird.
It looks baller.
So,
John, I could
Alex-
not disagree
It
more.
looks so weird.
Alex has done it well, and he's done it not well. Like,
yeah,
it depends on the
No
photo
more
you're
beard
looking
fades,
at.
please.
But you can't do it the
You can
opposite
tell when he
way.
has his guy, and then you can tell when his guy
You
is
can't
sick.
do it the opposite way,
Yeah.
which means you can't do it at all.
That's just how the hair grows. You have to go with. You
Yeah.
got to go with the flow.
I
a
don't
little
want
bit.
like because
You don't
my
have to do it.
my sideburns of the beard it goes up to nothing. So I want it not to just be thick and then nothing. I need a nice gradual
Yes,
fade down.
but you're
to
fading
thickness.
from
That's
from
it.
one to the other, not
No,
from like your cheekbone.
See, everything you know about a fade, you have to throw that off to the
I
side.
refuse.
It's a totally
I
different thing,
refuse.
John.
Think of the zero hair that I have on the side of my hair. I don't want it going bushy and then nothing. So I need it to go from no hair at all to a little bit more, and then we're at the chin. Hey,
All of a
there's the
sudden,
most.
It's a beard.
There it is.
I don't like it.
Well,
He does
John,
not like it.
you and your hockey hair can go fly a kite.
You wouldn't have liked anybody on the 2015 Kansas City Royals then. They all had that.
That's right. Hosmer had a pretty good one too.
Greg Holland with his
Yep.
beard.
Yeah, they all did it.
Not a fan. Sorry.
Isn't Kelsey's done that too? Right? Is this just a Kansas City thing?
Maybe
Because I believe Travis Kelsey
Is
kind
it
of
called the Kansas City fade?
Maybe it's the case. Yeah, it might just be the case.
because his brother has a big bushy beard.
Yeah, and
you know,
there's no maintenance on that thing whatsoever.
Not
Not really.
really.
Who cares?
no.
Oh, he's putting beard oil on that baby.
Well, he better. Otherwise, he's going to have some major itching issues and other things maybe growing in it.
Well, question beard fades? Question mark. That one's for you, John. See
Thank
how
you.
that one ends up.
We'll get the data and report back to you.
All right.
Yeah, John, I'm disappointed that you look at beard fades that way. I think
don't-
I think it not only
Here's the
needs to
thing.
continue to be a thing, but it is. I think it's very popular.
I don't want to look at beard fades.
Don't look at him then.
I mean,
Why are you looking at the floor, John?
Does it bother you so much that you just want to take some clippers and mess up the fade?
It's not to that level, I guess.
It hasn't enraged you yet.
You're gonna walk around.
It's more of a nuisance.
Let me fix that for you.
Yeah, do that.
First response to "Is Connor Happer a true ginger?" is from TF. I have no bleeping idea what that is.
What?
Yeah.
You don't know what a
guess.
ginger
How are
is?
you an adult and you don't know what a ginger is?
Well, I know
in
what a
this day and
ginger
age?
is.
Should I give the Urban Dictionary of a ginger?
I don't know what a true
ginger might be the part that's tripping them up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, and I think it's like when we're debating the GOAT between LeBron and MJ. I mean, everyone's going to have their own criteria of what they value. So I think that the whole, like, what makes a true ginger, like for me, I think it is the tint of the hair, where Connor feels like the skin pigmentation also plays
a
role in this.
I do. Is Scott Frost
Fair
a
skin
ginger?
or not? Yes. He's a little more blonde, though.
He's not. He doesn't have red hair.
I think he's a ginge.
It's the hair on the head that is the determining factor for me.
So you think you have to have that before you move on?
You got to have red hair on the head before
I think that
you move
puts
on.
you in the club, and then you get to maybe platinum status if you have other things going for you.
Gotcha. Another question here from the text line: who looks weirder without a beard, me or Travis Kelce?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I think it's me.
Travis Kelce.
Travis
without a beard
Kelce is
weird.
still a good-looking guy.
It's weird
Without a beard, I am not a good-looking guy. I don't know that I'm a good-looking guy with a beard, but without one, I could tell you for sure that I am not.
Oh wow! Just looked up some photographs. Don't like it.
No,
don't like it.
So when here's the, because I know your wife. Is she straight up honest when you had to shave the beard? Was she just like,
no, she's not honest.
Was she like, Connor, this is awful?
Bless her.
No, she's not honest.
Because when I go completely shaved beard, my wife will tell me, she's like, that you look weird.
Yeah, and I'll even tell her, like, I know I look weird. You can say it,
and she's still
do whatever you got to do, and she's just like,
what a great partner in life.
It's
Remember
good,
Young Love, gentlemen?
It's a good change.
Here's no beard, John. There you go.
Oh, that's a different.
Oh, you
look.
look spry.
That's a different look for sure.
That was like 10 years ago.
What were you doing?
I was actually interviewing Bo Pelini.
With a night. Oh,
I was the sideline reporter for the Nighthawks.
And Bo was coaching.
No, he wasn't. So that was when Joe Molio was the coach.
Yeah.
And Bo was there to support on their bye week, and he was just hanging out on the sidelines. And I went over to him and was like, hey, will you come on with us at halftime? And he's like, who you with? 1620. Local station. All right. So we had Bo
like
on.
it mattered.
Yeah.
It's like, Bo, do you want to do an interview
So
or not?
we had Bo on for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Who are you with? Show me your credentials.
Are they affiliate? Okay, that's funny. You guys were the official Nighthawks affiliate?
Yep.
guess
Gary
so.
Sharp was in the booth.
All right, so this is
no Mark Cranack was in the booth. at
This
that
is
time.
the. You guys want to know the Urban Dictionary definition? Okay. Wow, a legendary race. By
Protect the
the way, is what it says.
license.
Yeah,
One
be
who
careful.
has colored hair ranging in shades from red to strawberry blonde.
Scott Frost.
And then it goes into a type of spice used for cooking and all sorts. So yeah,
That's not an Urban Dictionary, right?
So yeah, the to what you're talking about with the either having pale skin compared not to, yeah, Scott would fit there. But I think to me, this is where you and I differ. I think the tint of his hair is a little more blonde that I wouldn't necessarily, let's just say he wouldn't be a first ballot ginger Hall of Famer for me.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't meet every criteria.
I was just thinking about this. There aren't 3 radio guys in the country better equipped to adjudicate this ginger topic than what we have in the studio today.
That's true. You can't find a better trio.
There's there's nobody out there.
Well, we all have we're different places in our life, age wise, and we have different ways that we show off our ginger roots. So yeah,
I got to admit, I try to run from it. I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like being a
I
ginger.
feel like it became a derogatory term
It
at
did.
one point.
It did.
As a non-ginger, I can confirm.
Yeah.
I'm not offended if anybody calls me. I laugh at it. They call me a ginge. Ginge Nation.
I worked at a creative firm, and the other guy who worked there also had red hair. We were both the video guys, and they called us the Twingers. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
I think it's funny.
It's very offensive. I'm offended.
Really?
Personally offended.
Come
by it.
on, man.
1620, the red beard. Next slide. All right, now that we've covered all the bases in our local sports topics,
What do you
today,
guys got going on today?
we can end the show. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Oh,
Connor.
you're welcome.
That is the crossover with John Schreiner and Nick Hanley. We'll come back and start things off on a Thursday next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on the crossover.
I also refuse to give anything, no matter how satisfactory it was, the full 5 stars because
Well, it's not very helpful.
there's no such thing as perfect. fill it out? Perfection is unattainable. Yeah, usually. What? I don't know. It's I feel like I'm helping. They don't. You're not helping. You're giving them 3 out of 5.
Yeah. You're only helping if it's the maximum score or a 0.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Turning breezy and colder Thursday. Northwest winds will gust 25 to 35 miles per hour throughout the day. There is a chance for a few flurries or scattered light snow showers in the afternoon and early evening. Little to no accumulation expected. Highs in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. The stats may back him up, but Trey Alexander truly believes, as his teammates do, that the Big East Conference's best defense is Creighton's.
We kind of try to go in and make that our identity. So, I mean, when we're playing teams like this that are very good at getting downhill and very good at hitting threes, I mean, we have to adjust to what we play each night. So, I mean, Villanova, they're a great team, and we were able to find those stops down the stretch, like you said.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
It's game day for Omaha men's basketball on News Talk 1290 Quote. The Mavericks on the road taking on North Dakota State. The Bison, one of the top teams in the Summit, will pose a stiff challenge for the Mavs. We'll hear the play-by-play beginning at 6:30 with the pregame show, 7 o'clock tip-off right here on News Talk 1290 Quote.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, has all the Super Bowl action. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can get in on the Super Bowl 57 excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boosts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code LISTEN. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code LISTEN. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57. 21 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Bonus issued as bonus bets. Opt-in required for odds boost. Bet type and amount limits vary. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Here's this week's Maverick Minute. The Maverick men's basketball team held a 12-point lead in the second half last Saturday, looking to sweep the series versus the Western Illinois Leathernecks. But Western Illinois clawed back and captured the lead with 1:34 left to play and held on for a 75-72 win over the Mavs. The Maverick men fall to 3-10 in the Summit League. And that's your Maverick Minute on your home for the Mavs. News Talk 1290, 1180 The Zone, and 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Good morning, all. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Plowing our way through Super Bowl week. Here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Hodson with you. The NBA attempting to keep its grasp on the sports world.
It is not letting go.
With some movement last night. Honestly, great. Awesome.
Yeah. Mainly because I have no idea what's going to happen on Sunday, and I'd rather not talk about it.
Yeah, let's not think about it. Let's not talk about it. We're gonna have our picks and all that stuff, and finally have to come to a conclusion on what's going to happen in the Super Bowl on Sunday tomorrow during the show. But I got to tell you, I don't know how you could be confident one way or the other. I have no idea. So it's great that the NBA is giving us a little bit of fodder to talk about. The NBA always good for some drama. We thought the Russell Westbrook trade was going to be the major thing that happened yesterday, and I guess it was, because here in the Central Time Zone there was some news that broke at about 12:05 via Woj that Kevin Durant was being traded to Phoenix. Everybody's going to Phoenix this week. Going to the Waste Management Open, going to the Super Bowl, and Kevin Durant is headed there too. We will, of course, chat about that during the show, and mostly just make fun of these horrible franchises and their horrible decision-making over the years. Shout out to the Nets. Shout out to the Lakers, who tried to redeem themselves a little bit with a trade yesterday, but still in and of itself, that was kind of funny. We'll talk about that. A couple Husker related things today. I got to be honest with you. I got a lot of stuff, that I want to talk about, but we're sort of jam-packed from a guest perspective as well, because it is Super Bowl week, and we'll talk to Dave Tollefson, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Giants. And I think he's going on to the morning show tomorrow morning as well. But we got some things to talk about, like managing Super Bowl week and the things that go around that. He'll join the show via our Super Bowl coverage today, brought to you by NDOT and the Dollar General Distribution Center. Dave Skretta covers the Chiefs for the Associated Press. In the 1 o'clock hour, we'll get that side of it. Maybe he's triggered. Maybe he's not.
Maybe he can answer the question why Chiefs fans are triggered at the slightest things.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that an unanswerable question?
Is that a rude question to ask?
Maybe.
Also,
hey, wait, why are your readers so
what's your
triggered?
deal?
So those, once again, part of our Super Week coverage this week, and we'll have a couple more tomorrow. I had a chance to sit down and have a good conversation with local NFLer, Minnesota Viking, Harrison Phillips, the other day, and we will play that for you tomorrow. Nice ranging interview for him in his first season in Minnesota. He's back in Omaha at the moment. And he did some pretty good things, as he continues to do, not just on the playing field, but off of it this year. So we'll talk with Horrible Harry tomorrow on the show and, make our picks and do that entire thing. The rest of today, Michael Bruntz, Jacob Padilla will join. We'll talk Husker baseball with Bruntz, who is starting to gear up for their opener next week. And they retired some numbers yesterday, as we talked about. We'll talk about football with him as well. And then Jacob will have a wide-ranging conversation about hoops here in just a little bit. Nebraska, Creighton, maybe even the Nebraska women. And, of course, we will get his thought on his favorite team, the Phoenix Suns. What does he think about this trade? And he is maybe the number one Mikal Bridges fan in the world. Is now off of his team.
Yeah, what does he do?
What state of mind is Jacob Padilla in this morning? We'll find out in 15 minutes. The lineup is powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Always feel free to get in touch with the show at Happer Show or at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox, or you could call or text 402-951-1620. Comment on our YouTube stream. say what I look like. Just, start chatting with people.
Yeah, we need more Connor Happer looks like.
See if they respond. In the YouTube chats. I logged on to a couple. Now this is last night when the conversation was about the Russ trade. But I logged on to a couple like random guys YouTube, live shows last night to get some NBA takes. And NBA fans are insane because they'll just pile in the comments with takes and they don't forget anything that happened either. So that was really great. I enjoyed that 15 minutes. I got to take in some NBA drama and coverage last night. So that is all to come on the show. Why don't we spend a couple minutes first with another hilarious day in the NBA yesterday. So first of all, let's spend a second on the Russell Westbrook deal. Very predictably, of course, he's traded from the Lakers. This is all coming off of a report yesterday that him and Darvin Ham were just yelling at each other in the locker room at halftime. Clearly not all that fired up to be alongside LeBron James as he breaks Kareem's scoring record the other night either. So the Lakers get D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt, and that's a good deal for them. They get better. They get 3-and-D guys. Like, it's a move that actually makes sense from a basketball perspective. But here's the hilarious part about it. So the Lakers dumped Russ's salary and, him as a player and his personality, which is great. Great news for them. But traded a potential first-round pick. And then if you go back in the trade to get Russ in the first place, they traded Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, and Kyle Kuzma, who were solid players and players that I think they like, but they were like, let's go get Russell Westbrook. Great idea. They traded all those guys for Russ, and then they just traded Russ for a player that they already drafted 8 years ago in D'Angelo Russell. Amazing stuff. I mean, seriously fantastic.
Incredible galaxy brain organization over there.
I love it. And like I said, it's actually a halfway decent basketball move because I think they got better. But it's just funny to think about these franchises and how they get. And I don't blame them, but you get so infatuated with the stars part of it, and you have to abide by, you have to keep the stars that you currently have happy, and you have to, I don't know about do what they say. Maybe in LeBron's case, that is actually the case. But you got to keep those guys happy. And if he wants to play next to another star and he handpicks that guy, whether LeBron's never been a great GM.
This is true.
LeBron's never been a great GM.
People forget.
He has a really, really weird eye for talent or things that he thinks that will fit well with him. Or maybe he just wants to play with his friends, or maybe he just wants to play with people who he thinks he might like because they're in like the realm of being a basketball star. But you get so caught up in that, and then all of a sudden you fast forward a couple years, they won a title. It was in the bubble. It doesn't count. That's my official statement. It doesn't count. Mickey Mouse title, Josh.
I understand.
It counts. They won a title, and that's great. But you fast forward and you end up trading all of that, and then you have nothing, and no picks to speak of either. And you trade it back for a guy who theoretically, a group of guys who theoretically make you better in the second half of the season or in the latter 2 months of the season, but probably still don't get you to a championship caliber type of team just to sort of stay afloat. It's hilarious. I love it. This is why the NBA rules, because it's just packed with drama, because we are in the, maybe we're toward the back end of the player empowerment era. But we've seen some wild things happen over the last decade or so. Really starting with the decision by LeBron. So you have that piece, and then you have the Durant piece, which that's a whole nother complicated and hilarious history in and of itself. So Durant goes to the Suns for Mikal Bridges, A bunch of really good players. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder. 4 unprotected first-round picks.
4
unprotected first-round picks. And, you know, the Nets are going to try and flip Crowder immediately and all that stuff. But keep in mind, Durant is 34 years old and hasn't been consistently healthy in a while. It's a gamble. But the Suns say, yeah, we weren't good enough to win a title this year. Let's go get Kevin Durant and let's try and win a title, regardless of if it sort of blows up our future or not. And that is sort of the realm and the world that we're in right now in the NBA. It's weird. But it makes for some really great comedy. The comedic factor of these trades are off the scales.
Suns sit at 5th in the West, 3 games out of the 2 seed. It's a crowded Western Conference. There's not one team that you look at and say they're an unstoppable power. So yeah, go make a move and try and get better. Also, right now, if the season ended today, Kyrie Irving's Dallas Mavericks would play Kevin Durant's Phoenix Suns in the first round of the playoffs. The NBA always wins.
And you can look at basically all of those, especially in the West, and say, oh, there's going to be some drama here.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be something that happens because all these players now have a history with each other. And that's the league that we've ended up in. That's the league that we've ended up with right now. I don't know how much longer, stuff like this sort of goes on. But it's, you have stars in the league and they hold the power. They've realized this power. Now it's just a matter of having those guys sort of understand that maybe what they think is best for them is not best for them, and definitely not best in the long-term interests of the franchise. Let's go back to the hilarious Nets situation where we take a look at the timeline. The Nets get Kyrie in the summer of 2019. They trade for Durant that same summer. You have Kyrie and Durant playing with each other, but Durant's out, right? Then at the deadline 2 years ago, 2021, they get Harden. Those three together, and Harden was traded at the deadline last year. And then of course it ends up in Kyrie and KD both getting traded at the deadline this year. So in the span of 4 years, and not, Harden wasn't there until later and all that stuff. But this little run that the Nets attempted, those three guys who were, at the point seen as generational stars, played a grand total of 16 games together. Wow. Which is hilarious.
Hilarious.
And then you go back to that playoff series against Boston a couple of years ago for the Nets when Durant's foot was on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh my God.
Can I spend like 30 seconds on that series?
Go ahead.
Kevin Durant after that game admitted, I wear a bigger shoe because it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
If he wears the correct size shoe,
amazing.
This is what happens. The following things happen. Mike Budenholzer gets fired in Milwaukee.
He does.
The Nets stay together. Everybody probably re-ups their contracts, gets extended because they at least get to the NBA finals, if not win the whole championship.
I think they would have won the finals.
Yeah. And
I think they would have won the finals.
Durant, all three of those guys' legacy changes because they got a title in Brooklyn, and Steve Nash gets extended. He's currently not the coach of the Brooklyn Nets anymore.
No, what's Steve doing? I don't know.
Laughing. He's laughing today.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
But yeah, that's how razor thin the margins are. Kevin Durant wore a big shoe one night, and this whole thing folded like a house of cards.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the NBA is fantastic. I mean, it's whether you watch it or whether you don't, you know who Kevin Durant is, you know who Kyrie Irving is, you know who James Harden is. You know who the actors are, right? It's like a bad movie,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Or a long-running TV show.
That's a bad analogy because I think the NBA is actually good from a actual basketball playing perspective. It's a lot of fun to watch if people would just give it a try. I think, especially around these parts. But they got a bunch of A-list actors, and you're like, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I
have no idea what they're gonna do. I have no idea what roles they're playing, but something crazy is gonna happen. So you're watching the movie.
It's either the first half of the season where nobody's happy and wants out of their deals, or it's
not trying and not playing.
Yeah, or it's the second half of the season and everybody is playing good basketball. So, I mean, you get the best of both worlds.
Durant's 34. Like I said, hasn't been consistently healthy in a while. I mean, like I said, though, you weren't going to win a title this year if you're Phoenix, so you pair up, Booker and now a rapidly aging Chris Paul, where before he was just aging, now I think he's rapidly aging. And Ayton, and you put him with Kevin Durant, and you say, all right, at least we have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and we have a shade of what Chris Paul used to be. Can this team beat the Nuggets, or can this team beat Memphis or the Kings?
The Kings, yeah.
Because everybody's looking at that and saying, well, this isn't real. Let's go get Kevin Durant.
Yeah. But if you're the 4, 5, 6 in the Western Conference, Dallas, Phoenix, and the Clippers are coming on strong too. Now that they sat all their players for a season and a half, they're finally able to play basketball. You look ahead of you and you go, Sacramento, that's not real. We could beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who cares what seed they are? Memphis, they're good, but they haven't done it before, quote unquote. Denver, we've seen this story before, top of the Western Conference, and then they flame out in the playoffs.
And it hasn't been proven wrong yet that the theory of stars win in the playoffs, just bottom line.
Yeah.
Seeding doesn't matter. Stars win in the playoffs. Like, that theory has not been proven wrong yet. So the idea of going to get Kevin Durant follows along those tracks. Now, what they forget, maybe, shout out the Nuggets, is that the Denver Nuggets do employ the 2-time defending MVP.
Maybe 3-time? Like, he's the betting favorite right now, which kind of surprises me. I thought we were at the point where,
he
okay,
plays,
you've
plays
won
every
a couple.
game, Josh, which is great, or most every game anyway. Shout out Joel Embiid. He plays, so that
he does, and he played last night, and he took an L.
Yeah, was last night when he had the triple double, like in the second quarter?
I don't know. His team scored 99 points and lost to the Celtics.
There was a couple nights ago, I was checking the tweets. I wasn't even watching. And they were like, hey, yeah, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic has a triple double. It's the second quarter. I'm like, oh, great. Another night in the NBA. Another night in Denver. What a show.
Another night.
What a show. But yes, if you're not interested in the NBA, then we'll probably shut it off for the day. But there's always something out there. And by the way, we're looking at a 2 o'clock trade deadline today. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe there will be another Woj bomb during our show.
Oh, you mean like the Boston Celtics acquiring shooting big man Mike Muscala from the Oklahoma City Thunder? Shams bomb.
Woj bomb. All right, we will take a break. We'll just spend one more. I got a couple questions for Jacob.
Ooh,
how's he feeling? We'll get to college basketball as well, local college basketball, but I don't think I've seen any reaction from him yet on the Twitter machine. Maybe it's just because Twitter's broken, but I haven't seen anything yet from him. So
yeah, you got to fix your tweets, man.
I am intrigued. What?
Or did you go to bed and miss all of Jacob's reaction to the tweet?
He tweeted?
Oh, yes.
No, I missed him.
Lots of Mikal Bridges stuff, lots of Suns stuff from Jacob last night. Great stuff.
Okay, all right, great. All right, we'll just readdress that then. Coming up after the break. It is the Connor Happer Show on a Thursday on 1620 The Zone. Hey, Super Bowl's coming up, and we all have our systems when we bet. You pick the perfect upset. You comb through the injury reports. You comb through every stat, historical figures that you possibly can. It's a system, right? But there's one thing every bettor should include in their system. Add this to the repertoire. It is the responsible gaming tools available for you on the FanDuel Sportsbook. They keep your play in check and under control. There's time limits. They'll run the timer for you right up at the top. You can see how long you've been on. You say, if that thing's getting up toward like 15, 20 minutes, maybe time to shut it down. There's wager limits, which prevent you from betting more than you should. You can even take a timeout, which pauses your account for as long as you may need. FanDuel, they want every bettor's experience to be about fun and entertainment. You could do that, and you could also do it safely. Visit FanDuel.com/playwell and make responsible gaming tools a part of your system. 21 and over. Present in Iowa. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620, The Zone.
If you love attending live events, whether it's a big-time sporting event or seeing your favorite artist in concert, then you need to check out my friends at Tickets for Less and their app. It's absolutely free.
It brings all of your favorite things about ticketsforless.com straight to your fingertips in one convenient location. Plus, all new users get a special discount code sent directly to your phone just for downloading the app and signing up. So simply search Tickets for Less in your app store, download the free app, and sign up for your discount. It's really that easy. Ticketsforless.com.
Dell Technologies President's Day business event starts now with deals to power America's doers and dreamers. Save on select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for President's Day deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
NRG Media, the parent company of this radio station, is looking to hire a client marketing coordinator. This person will work directly with our sales account executives to create and execute multimedia marketing campaigns for local businesses. Critical and creative thinking are must-haves. If you're organized, goal-oriented, and have a marketing mind and are proficient in Microsoft, go to the careers page at nrgmedia.com for more information and to apply. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Just call 402-788-1234 to schedule your preseason tune-up for just $79.
Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
And now, the only cure for our basketball Jones. Hail Varsity's Jacob Padilla on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, baby.
All right, a ton of basketball to talk about with Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity, who joins us on the show right now. Hi, Jacob. What's up?
Hi, Connor.
How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling pretty well. It's kind of weird. I'd like to get Kevin Durant healthy and see him in an actual Suns jersey. But yeah, just right now, just kind of figuring out what this whole thing will look like moving forward. Obviously, still got a little bit of time before the deadline. Got the buyout market, depending on what happens there, to add to the team. But the Suns have Kevin Durant. After all this, it actually happened.
Will you be putting out some sort of a tribute piece or a tribute video to Mikal Bridges at some point today?
Probably. I've done some retweeting. Obviously, I put out a few tweets myself. Probably won't go beyond that, but yeah, that is the hardest part of this to swallow. Like Mikal Bridges, if people don't, I'm sure there aren't many people in here that watch the Suns or pay attention, but he's legitimately one of the most likable players in the NBA. And currently the longest streak of like the dude plays in every single game and has like going all the way back to high school. And recently he was really kind of hitting his stride since Booker's been out. He's really stepped up his game. So it's really tough to lose a guy like that. But again, it's Kevin Durant.
You know, I was talking about this before too, like, and I don't know if there's a time limit on it or anything like that, but we're deep into the player empowerment era, and you look around at other franchises, or you just look around at franchises in the NBA and how they've traded everything, including picks and good, solid, developed players that they drafted and brought up through their system for one star or two, and then it ends up, you end up wondering what in the world happened after 2 or 3 years time, because it's really a boom or bust thing. You either win a title or you don't. When you make those trades, your goal is to win a title. Like, and it's the same thing for the Suns right now. They're trying to win a title. So like, is it more of a cautionary tale where you look around at those franchises and say, man, they just made the wrong choices? Or is this a bigger picture NBA thing where teams will start to sort of zag and say, you know what, we're gonna do it our way. It's not easy, but we're gonna take the sort of long route here instead of being held prisoner to whichever star is on their team.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an individual basis. It really is just kind of the result of circumstances and how things play out. You need so much luck to actually get over the top and win a title. You need so many things to break your way. And for a team like the Suns, like they got really close, and then they ran it back and couldn't even get back to where they were previously.
Yep.
And just based on what we'd seen last year, that felt like the Suns kind of had gotten as far as they were going to get with the current version of the team. And unfortunately, they don't have a ton of assets just because of some misses in the draft, and then the way that James Jones has ran the team, just kind of not really put much value in draft picks, which obviously won't have to worry about for a long time now.
Yep.
But they just really didn't have a lot of like young players outside of their core to kind of sweeten up deals. So just had to. This was really the only way. Like that, there weren't a lot of moves out there that would have moved the needle. Probably would have improved the team, but would have made it somewhat similar to what it was previously. So
Kevin Durant moves the needle, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the official. All right, we're pushing all the chips in.
Yep.
And again, like even I think Isaiah Thomas, not the one that Matt Ishby is friends with, and was rumored to be joining the franchise. The shorter one. He tweeted about how like with Sarver gone now, like players are going to want to go to Phoenix. Just it's a desirable location just with the weather. You mentioned how good your body feels like living there during the winter and all that. So it's with Devin Booker at this point, he's a guy that NBA players respect and want to play with. I mean, we've seen it with Chris Paul and Kevin Durant now both. They wanted to go to Phoenix to play with Booker. I think Vince Goodwill from Yahoo or whatever wrote a story a long time ago about Suns like Booker being committed to Phoenix despite losing and wanting to bring a super team to Phoenix, wanted them the team to come to him, and here we are. It actually happened. So yeah, it's going to be weird for a little bit now, especially with these guys out. I think the Suns might have 8 healthy players for tonight. I think they play.
Hey, it's not about tonight, baby.
Yeah. Get ready for a lot of Josh Okogie and Ish Wainwright. But I mean, it's Kevin Durant now, and now it becomes how can Monty Williams mesh these guys and figure out how to get the most out of them.
Well, we hope that that Phoenix Air can heal his body, and he'll get back from that knee injury, because the NBA is better when he's at the top of his game. That's for sure. Jacob, we got a lot of stuff to hit here, so let's start with Nebraska last night, and they really were just I don't know. Michigan's hitting shots, but Nebraska's sort of asleep. To start the game, they get down. What was it? I think 41-17.
Yep.
And they hit like a 20, a 30 to, was it a 30-3 run or something like that?
Yeah, something absurd like that.
It was a big number in the first half, and then they play them okay the rest of the game. Now, I don't know what that means in the grand scheme of things, but like, how do you get to the point? And we've talked about their roster and their injuries and things like that. But what I want out of the last couple of weeks of the season is just a little bit of consistency, where you sort of know what you're getting, at least if it's effort or guarding on a nightly basis. Like, how do you get to the point where you could sort of predict them a little bit, because you just sort of have no idea what's going to happen on a nightly basis with them?
Yeah, the tough part about that is more than like half their rotation are like first and second year players. Outside of Greasel and Walker, you really don't have any veterans out there. So it's all young guys kind of figuring it out, and young guys by nature are probably going to be inconsistent. And yeah, what happened against Michigan was absolutely absurd. They were shooting 75% to build up that 24-point lead. They made 15 of their first 20 shots, which is, I don't know that I've ever seen a 13-minute stretch of basketball quite like that between two teams like this. Some of that, there just wasn't a whole lot they could do. Some of it, part of the problem, they just had too many breakdowns early on, not getting matched or not rotating in the right spot. Michigan did move the ball really well against when they switched up to their various zones, picked it apart. But I mean, Jet Howard got up 4 threes in the first before the first media timeout, I think, and that's a guy you just can't let get into a rhythm. Ended up scoring 22. It took him 17 shots, but he didn't stop anybody else. I mean, Hunter Dickinson had 14 and 9 in the second half. Like, he was a complete non-factor outside of the attention that he drew in the first half. And then they tried to go more one-on-one to hopefully change the flow of the game. And then he went up and went to work and basically beat them. So just Michigan's best game of the season, and Nebraska contributed to that just with their lack of focus early on, lack of execution, just guys not being in the right spot. So like I don't consistency is probably something that we're not going to get a ton of, but I don't think we're going to see teams shoot 75% for a long stretch of the game against them. Maybe again the rest of the season. So a little bit of, they got to be better, but also they ran into a buzzsaw on that night on the road.
You have gotten consistent play now all of a sudden, although it's big. Well, it's pretty efficient too, I guess. Keisei Tominaga, he's been really great over the last couple weeks here, and he's filled a lot of the scoring void. Obviously the 30-point performance a couple weeks ago, I guess. Like, do you? And I know they were talking about this on the broadcast a couple times on over the weekend. But you see teams and they seem sort of like unprepared for him, even though you look at what he's done in his recent track record, and it's been really, really good. I guess like that seems to be their best option right now. And it doesn't show really much signs of slowing down. It could, of course, at any time, because it's it's shooting the basketball. But he's been great, and I expect some more of that the last couple of weeks, because he's been allowed to get his shots and take them.
Yeah, and I did a breakdown of the 30-point game on HillVarsity.com. You can go check that out. Include all the clips, all his buckets, some of his passes. not even so much that teams aren't ready for him. He's just become such a smart player that reads the defense really well and understands what he needs to do based on how he's being defended. He's gotten so good as a back cutter when teams really start to crowd him. Like there are a couple times where he read the defender just barely turned his head and he immediately cut. And you chase him around chase him off the kind of the handoff down screen or whatever into the kind of little pick and roll action. He's making some really nice reads. He hit some really good passes to Walker. Got him that dunk early on the game, going off and making that nice little pocket pass. Like he's just become a much smarter player. Part of this, the shot making that maybe won't be there every single game, and he's his buddy Matthew Marinas looked this up for me. Casey Tominaga is shooting 43% from 25 plus feet and 40% from 27 plus.
That's amazing.
And I looked at his catch and shoot numbers. He actually is shooting going into that game. He was shooting about 26%. He was 8 of 31 on unguarded catch and shoot threes.
No, that tracks. That tracks.
Yeah, and he was 27 of 60, which is 45% on guarded ones. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
No, it's not.
And 7 of 19 on pull-up threes too. So off the triple,
yeah, he's automatic on the heat check threes. They're going in.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense the way his game works, but he's found a way. And I tweeted during the game this. With some of the other stuff he's adding to his game now, beyond just the cuts and the catch and shoot threes, we're seeing the 3x3, the Team Japan case now, where he's really getting deep into his bag with some of these finishes. He took his guy down to the post and scored on him in that game last night. What is going on? He's driving and finishing a little bit. That tough little floater he had. He's just rounding out into a really well-rounded scorer. And he's second on the team now, 11.6 a game, doing it on really efficient play, almost 40% from three, almost 50% from the line. Starting to miss free throws now, which I don't like. He drops below that 90% threshold, unfortunately. But he's the biggest story on this team right now in terms of positive things happening. He still has his limitations, but he is a legitimately useful, effective player at the Big Ten level, which I definitely did not see coming based on what he showed last season.
I'll tell you what, man, him, and there's varying degrees of this, and Casey's got the scoring, where these other guys are sort of coming along, but I like the sort of commonality in the thread between some of the guys that we're looking at now, him, Sam Hoiberg, Dawson and Lawrence. They move, right? They move off the ball. They cut well. They're pesky they vary from pesky defenders to actual good defenders. That's a good little core right there. I like what they're doing, and if you can get that, and add pieces around it, that's a solid base for where you're trying to make it go.
Yeah, and that was the problem. The first 3 years is they just weren't able to find consistent, effective role players that fit around the star caliber players they were able to acquire.
Now you need the stars.
That's going to be the problem moving forward. But it's not a surprise that this team has been more successful than any of the previous three, despite maybe not having a top end player as talented as any of those teams had, except maybe the first season. Just because it's a well-rounded team that fits together, that plays together. Obviously, you need some perimeter shooting to really make that click more than they've gotten, considering the strengths of their best players. But beyond that, they share the ball, they defend together for the most part. They fight on the glass at times. This team we're starting to see some role players emerge, and that's what I said. Like the stretch run, like post the injuries, that's the most important thing that can happen. Besides like seeing a few wins here, there is seeing those guys take a step forward. And Jamarcus Lawrence had a really rough one in Michigan. That's going to happen. Like he's been up and down, but the positive flashes, the good games he's had are worth it. Like that's what you need to see in with this opportunity. You need to see him. You need to see Denham Dawson continue to figure out ways to be impactful beyond just the defense. Like you can't allow your team to play 4-on-5 out there on offense, no matter how good of a defender you might be. So he's got to continue to figure that out, figure out what he does well, how he can be effective within the system, so that he's not a liability on offense, but this really valuable experience for him defensively, guarding basically 1 through 4. They're having to match up basically whoever they need to, and then figuring out the rest of the lineups from there. So that's again Tominaga, Lawrence, Dawson, these guys, even Sam Hoiberg story, crazy again. Got in there, knocked down both his shots, had an assist. He's just been outside the one game he started. Go figure. Didn't make an impact on that, but I mean they only lost his 18 minutes by 6, which, considering the results of that game, that was pretty good compared to the rest. So, Hoiberg continues to make shots, and we're starting to see some of these young guys. Again, consistency may not be there, but we're seeing the flashes.
Jacob, Creighton wins their 7th in a row last night at Seton Hall. They come back for what I think will be a huge, great game and a great environment on Saturday against UConn here in Omaha. What do you like most about what Creighton is doing right now? I think we've gotten to the point where, I think they have a really firm grasp of what they're trying to do and who they're trying to be and what their weaknesses are. Like it just feels like a team that knows itself really well. What do you like most about what they're doing right now?
Yeah, they're climbed all the way up to 9 in KenPom now.
I know.
27th in offense, 13th in defense. That's honestly surprised they didn't take a few more spots up in offense after shooting 60% from the field. Is absurd.
With a billion turnovers.
That's I tweeted with Matt and Ravi and Alex last night. It's really bizarre Baylor game. I had it up on the second screen and muted during the Nebraska game, so I wasn't able to really lock in. But just kind of seeing some of the plays and seeing the box score, Baylor was simultaneously the best player on the floor and also the reason that Seton Hall was in it for a while. And that he encapsulated the whole team effort. Just hitting shots left and right, but throwing the ball away all over the place. And so it's just, I think what I like is the way that they're continuing to find different ways to get things done. If the offense is rolling, they're hitting shots and they're playing through that. If shots aren't falling, they're continuing to be gritty on defense. And Ryan Kalkbrenner has become the player that we thought he was going to be heading into the season, and the guys around him are getting better at taking advantage of that. Creighton's just so hard to score on in the paint with Kalkbrenner there. And Seton Hall hit some kind of crazy shots.
They did.
24 points in the paint. And only took 14 free throws for a team that gets to the line a ton, despite the strange officiating, where called nothing for 5 minutes, called everything for 15 minutes, and then called nothing the entire second half. Kind of like just kind of a weird game from that perspective. But Creighton's that it really is their defense right now. What they finish? They were 19th in defense last year. They're up to 13th now. So
watch
this
out.
Team really has kind of come into its own.
Yeah, and they got more, they got more shot makers and all that stuff too. Like the offensive ceiling is much higher.
Exactly right. And again, they're still kind of settling into that. They even got some bench production last night. I was in Mason Miller. That end, that like quick release end of shot clock 3 Like that was a huge shot, I think, for just the flow of the game and for his confidence and everything. The way he shoots kind of lends itself to that. Like it just keeps it high, no dip, just gets it up there and lets it go. And even good to see Sharif knock one down as well. So I mean, they don't need a ton out of the bench, but they certainly got some nice contributions last night.
Jacob, we'll let you go, man. Appreciate the time as always. Great stuff, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good.
Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity. Yeah, I think we will have probably an opportunity to talk about Creighton a little bit more in depth later, but that shot by Mason Miller was huge. I really zoned in on the one in the second half. They're struggling. They can't find a basket. Seton Hall's making a run. Seton Hall's up 6. It's 49-43, and it's getting late in the shot clock, and they're sort of in scramble mode. And Trey Alexander just hits, steps up and hits a big three. And I'm like, that's why he's the guy, right? So you just have this dynamic where it's him, and you know what you're going to get from Nemhard, and you know what you're going to get from Kalkbrenner, and you can sort of allow Baylor and Art to do them, right? Art had a bad night last night. He was a little bit of everywhere. I think he got a little outside of himself, but maybe you could say the same thing for Baylor too. But if somebody asked me about that last night, and I just think, I think you take the good with the bad for those guys, because they have so much consistency elsewhere in their starting lineup, and you know what you're getting. So you can allow those guys to be who they are. Maybe some games it will end up killing you, but you're going to see some explosive games from those guys and some next level playmaking. And so you take the bad, and what you get usually more times than not in their case is a pretty good payout. They're playing great right now. I don't know if you'd say they played great last night, but you win 7 in a row and you're feeling yourself and going to that game against UConn, which will be hot fire on Saturday. Woo! Man, am I excited. Like I said yesterday, you shut off that game, the clock hits 0 at Seton Hall. If you walk out of there with a win, and you immediately say, oh boy, that UConn game is going to be some fun. It will be. It'll be a big day on Saturday in Omaha. All right, we'll come back with more. We have some basketball talk, of course, that we need to get to. We can go deeper on Nebraska basketball, big picture wise. Trev Alberts commented on Fred Hoiberg yesterday.
Oh,
have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I have not.
Yeah, he had some interesting thoughts on where they're at, the progress that they've made this year. We'll come back with that and more next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Oscars Pizza and Sports Grill is your home for the big game. Whether it's the pro football playoffs or a rivalry on the hardwood, you'll find all the action on Oscars' upgraded audio-video system. With 40 TVs and massive dual projectors, the game has never looked better. Pair that with their award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. Oscars Pizza and Sports Grill has everything you need. 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd in Maple.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my number one priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpsconnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
Making plans to watch the big game? Nick Handley here for my friends at DJ's Dugout. Watch the big game at DJ's Dugout. Enjoy big game specials all day, Sunday, February 12th. Get a dozen of DJ's famous wings for just $10. And $5 32-ounce domestic beers and $7 32-ounce specialty and craft beer drafts. Cheer for Kansas City or Philadelphia and gather with friends for the big game at DJ's Dugout. Dig in at the Dugout.
We always appreciate when you guys ask us questions. Maybe it's some advice in your life. Whatever you might need. This is an open community. We're here for you.
We're here to help.
Yeah, it's a forum. We did get a comment on our... Actually, this is on the Twitch stream. We're on Twitch. Like the video gamers. Like Mr. Beast. Oh, he's probably not on there. I don't know. From K2 The Game.
Hi, K2 The Game.
He says, hey, man, I know this is kind of random, but I'm getting kind of bald. Do you have any advice for me? And my response to that is no. Because look at me.
We're here to help,
Look at
but
me.
I have no advice for you.
Look at me. I noticed my balding long ago. What have I done about it? Nothing. Not a single thing. I just let it happen. Is it too late now? Yeah. You bet it is. It ain't coming back. I hate to bring you to that dark place. It's been on my mind for probably a decade now.
Okay.
It started happening. And if you don't stop it, you're going to have a difficult time. I accepted that reality. I accepted that fate. I hoped that I hope that just my body's chemicals would reverse the trend somehow.
Mm-hmm, sure.
It didn't work out that way. So now here I am. And I think you just have to, I guess my advice is this, K2 The Game. Love yourself.
That kind of dovetails off of what I wanted to say about this is there are 2 types of bald people in the world. There are those that embrace it, and there are those that are clearly sad about it. And you don't want to be the sad individual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad about it, but I just don't talk about it.
You don't carry yourself as a sad sack about it.
Yeah, so I wear a hat.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I don't, and I just let it fly. It is what it is.
Okay.
I enjoy my time going to the hair cutter, and they're like, "What do you want me to do with the top?" And I say, "Whatever your heart desires." It's up to you, man. It's up to you. You go ahead and do whatever you got to do.
Can't mess it up too much.
No, you can't. You can't mess it up at all. There's
Yeah.
no chance you can mess it up. I mean, I got the light on me today, so I don't know. See, it's shiny on the
Shiny
top of my
today.
head.
Yeah.
That's
Glad you said it. I wanted to say it.
you
Couldn't.
got to embrace it.
Yeah.
You got to embrace it. Joel tweets in. He says, "Got to embrace the bald." It's sad, but it doesn't have to be. So either make the changes early, or you could be, do the hair plugs or whatever. But that's a thing that I probably don't have money for. I haven't looked into it. I don't know how much money it costs. Or B, just don't want to go through the hassle of doing. I'm okay. The thing about us bald people is we're okay. Be okay about it. Thank you for the question, K2 the game. Appreciate it. As I mentioned before the break, Trev Alberts randomly talked yesterday with a friend of the show, Sam McEwen, about Fred Hoiberg. This story came out in the World Herald, I don't know, minutes before Nebraska tipped off against Michigan. Did anybody even see this yesterday?
I did not.
Okay. Trev Alberts, let's see here. Let's start at the beginning from Sam. Nebraska men's basketball has made, quote, very consistent progress this season, Trev Alberts said Wednesday, as Hoiberg continues a, quote, total philosophical reboot of the program in his fourth season.
Whoa. Reboot?
Hey, it's a rebuild. It's a reboot. It's on the fly. Quote, it's undeniable the progress that Fred and his staff has made. Albert said during a wide-ranging interview hours before Nebraska tipped off against Michigan, quote, the staff additions he made as he recreated his staff have been really, really good. Our team is really enjoyable to watch. I think our team has responded very well to Coach Hoiberg's leadership and changes this year. Do I wish men's basketball had made a similar change 2 years ago in philosophy? Sure. But the change in approach is 180. That is from the athletic director. Does that sound like a man who will be fired in 5 weeks? No, it does not.
Nope.
It does not sound like that at all. So, when asked about the topic of, firing or saying whether you're going to bring him back, Sam asked directly, hey, is he coming back for a 5th season? Here's what we got out of that. Asked if Hoiberg was definitively returning for a 5th season, Albert said he doesn't make a habit of declaring such things during the season. As noted by Sam, although he did so last season with Hoiberg and fired football coach Scott Frost after just 3 games this season. And I will add, said during the season in 2021 that he was keeping Scott Frost. People forget that. So 3 very notable examples of him saying the exact opposite of what he actually
Not a long tenure for Trev in Lincoln either. So it's not like he can point to instances where he did not.
But the main point is this. Albert says, quote, recruiting is going to be really important. So we've just got to keep growing, keep building. These things rarely just flip overnight. I'm interested in watching the compete level the rest of the year, watching the togetherness of the team. I was in the locker room after the win against Penn State. It's a really good locker room. There's really good leadership. There's good unity of purpose with coaches and players. So I like the trajectory that Fred's on at the moment. So let's recap. I will not say that Fred is coming back next year, because I don't do that sort of thing, even though he does do that sort of thing. And I love the but I love the trajectory, and I love where we appear to be headed, and I love the changes that he has made. Once again, but I won't say whether he's coming back next year. He's coming back next year, right?
I mean, sure seems that way. Unless he doesn't, and then we can go, oh, that was the kiss of death. It doesn't feel like a kiss of death.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if you could fully put it to bed. But it does feel as if Trev has seen what he's needed to see this year. Now I would argue with Trev on a couple of the points. One of which Chris emails in about in our Equitable Bank inbox at Connor@1620thezone.com.
Hi, Chris.
This is the first point that I was going to get to. Subject title: enjoyable to watch? Question mark, question mark, question mark. A really enjoyable team to watch. Is there a different men's basketball team at Nebraska that I'm currently unaware of? Maybe more enjoyable to watch. More enjoyable to watch. And to be fair, seriously, he's right about one thing, and he's saying it without saying it. The staff changes they made. You know how we don't really talk about Adam Howard or Ernie Ziegler, who are the other assistants on Nebraska's staff right now, and they're not mentioned by name and by Trev in the story. He says the staff additions. What he really meant was the staff subtraction. That's what he meant. I mean, I can't for the life of me understand why Fred Hoiberg, gave the keys to this entire program to Matt Abdelmassi over the last 3 years. It doesn't make a lick of sense. And they finally, it finally came to a head and said we can't do it like this anymore. So we have to make a change. And it feels like that alone has driven us to the point where there's enough there, as we just talked about with Jacob. They got a bunch of guys on the roster who can be really, really good role pieces for a team. And Trev said it. The transfer portal is going to be huge. They're going to be short on stars next year. They're going to be short on guys who can get buckets, right? Can you find them in the transfer portal? Maybe. But theoretically, there is a core that Nebraska can deal with. And I think that's what Trev is sort of going off of here. So I don't know that I expected the, it's not definitive, obviously, because he didn't say it definitively or say it in a statement or anything like that. But it sounds like Fred's coming back, and I just don't know that I expected that early or what. But they're gonna give it another go and see how it ends up. Now, Nebraska might end up, with 11 wins this year or 12, who knows? They have 6 games in the regular season left. The only one that looks like a game that they could win right now is the one against Minnesota. And then you look at the results and you say, man, so less than 10 wins for 3 years and then 11 wins, and then 13 wins or 12 wins. That's not that much progress. But when you look a little bit deeper, maybe you say, okay, I like the direction we're headed. I at least want to see this go for one more year.
I didn't expect the quotes coming out on a night where they lost by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's tough. Got buzzsawed a little bit last night. Bad timing. Maybe didn't age well.
Yeah, but what if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel.
That's the way you feel.
Yeah.
That's the way you feel. So a little under the radar big news yesterday, I think, from the Nebraska basketball side of things. Coming up at noon, we'll talk to former New York Giants Super Bowl champion Dave Tollefson. He'll join the show. We'll talk about the ins and outs of the Super Bowl and what it takes that week and in the individual game, and some things that go around just playing and being in the Super Bowl. But next, it is the odd news with Josh on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The theory that a lot of folks would have is low retention rate, low success. High retention rate, high success.
Yes, Indiana's 2021 team had the best single season retention rate. 80.99% of the roster carried over from 2020.
So this is with all those players back.
They went 2-10.
That's crazy.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Windy and mostly cloudy this afternoon for your Thursday with a high of 38 degrees in Omaha, but feeling like the upper 20s and lower 30s with our wind chill. Expect gusts out of the northwest up to 40 miles an hour, especially into this evening and tonight. A 30% chance for early afternoon and evening light snow. Accumulation looking very little, up to a trace amount. Tonight, windy, but skies becoming mostly clear. Feeling like the single digits by tomorrow morning with a low of 18 degrees. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
It's game day for Omaha men's basketball on News Talk 1290 Quote. The Mavericks on the road taking on North Dakota State. The Bison, one of the top teams in the Summit, will pose a stiff challenge for the Mavs. We'll hear the play-by-play beginning at 6:30 with the pregame show, 7 o'clock tip-off right here on News Talk 1290 Quote.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Friends, it's the biggest game of the year, and FanDuel has the perfect way for everyone to get in on Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat same-game parlay. That means everyone gets bonus bets back if your Super Bowl same-game parlay does not hit. And if you're new to FanDuel, just look for the SGP logo. Those are same-game parlays. Parlay any one of the great prop bets with the game result, and your payouts will get even bigger, all for the big game, Super Bowl 57 with FanDuel.
John, the bets that I like this weekend, well, Travis Kelce's playing. Give me an anytime touchdown from the Chiefs tight end. Also, Jalen Hurts finally doing it on the ground. Give me the over on his rushing yards. No matter what, you will get bonus bets back if your no-sweat same-game parlay does not hit, as long as you use our promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa. 3+ legs minimum. $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The Creighton Blue Jays look to get one back on UConn as they rematch with the Huskies. Saturday pregame begins at 11 a.m. with Ravi Lula. Tip-off at 1. The Blue Jays, Saturday on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
In a house in Omaha, people gather in the kitchen. They don't talk about school and work. They talk about doctors and surgeries. They're the families of Ronald McDonald House Charities in Omaha. And the kitchen is where they come together to share the struggles their children are facing. For these families, it's the little things like a home-cooked meal, even while far from home, that make the biggest difference. Volunteer to prepare a meal by visiting rmhcomaha.org.
At Baker's, we want our fresh produce to meet your expectations, which is why we're dedicated to doing up to a 27-point inspection on our fruits and veggies, checking for things like scarring. In fact, only the best produce like zesty oranges and crisp carrots reach our shelves, because when it comes to fresh, our higher standards mean fresher produce. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Valentine's Day is almost here, and we can help with everything from a romantic dinner to floral bouquets, chocolate-dipped strawberries, and so much more. Happy Valentine's Day.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Odd Son.
All right, Josh has the odd news for us, and he has it now. Now, Josh.
Sure do. Now. Right now?
Yes. Now.
We're ready.
I'm watching the Riri Super Bowl interview right now.
On NFL Network.
Maybe she's telling people if she's giving hints on some prop bets that are floating around.
Oh, yeah.
Will Riri wear a bucket hat?
You posted those numbers on Twitter.
Yeah.
My eyes did light up a little bit. I went, ooh.
Plus 700, huh?
Okay. I like that.
Will Riri trip and fall over?
No way.
A lot
Not
of
a
talk
chance.
about wardrobe malfunctions.
No.
I don't see that coming. That seemed like a once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Will Rihanna propose to A$AP Rocky? Live on stage
unlikely.
during the Super Bowl halftime show.
Feels unlikely.
Well, you can illegally bet on that at plus 2,500 on some offshore sites.
Ooh, offshore, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they don't offer those on real books like the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Promo code Happer.
It's ridiculous.
Maybe she'll announce a new album.
Maybe
at this presser.
Yeah, she got to do something.
Yeah. We're gonna start. Oh hell, I don't know. Let's start in Canada, shall we?
Let's.
Etobicoke, Canada, to be exact. A couple returned home from a year-long trip to find that two people had impersonated them and sold their home.
A year-long trip?
Yeah. According to Canadian police, which just makes me chuckle, homeowners left the country in January of 2022 for a business trip. The two individuals, who have yet to be identified, hired a real estate agent and put the house on the market. They then sold the house and managed to take possession of the property through fake identification. Police added that several months after the sale, the actual homeowners learned their house was sold without their consent. The man and woman are both wanted in the mortgage fraud investigation. Unfortunately, those are the only details I have.
I have some questions.
Yeah, I understand.
So year-long trip, huh?
Year-long business trip.
So, I mean, who do you have to blame if your house gets sold from out underneath you when you're just gone from it for a year? You didn't think to, check in or something, like you didn't have some things in place, people watching the house or anything like that. Like this doesn't happen if you just sort of pay attention.
Like even if like you're friends with a neighbor.
Yeah.
Like your neighbors would watch the house for you.
Is there's a for sale sign in your front yard and I haven't seen you in a while.
You guys not coming back?
Yeah.
Didn't
I don't
get to
know.
say goodbye.
I think these guys have nobody to blame but themselves. I mean, and I guess the other people, but it doesn't happen if they're not gone for an entire year.
I feel like if you commit to leaving for a year, not whatever happens, but
pretty close.
You need to account for a lot of different things happening in that year.
Got to have some fail-safes in place.
Yeah. We go to Altoona, Pennsylvania for our next story.
Okay.
This one involves a homeless man, 4 home invasions, a kidnapped man, and a stolen truck. Altoona police, along with Logan Township Police and the Pennsylvania State Police, arrested 37-year-old Robert Powers, great name, Monday, after Powers allegedly caused chaos throughout the city, even telling one homeowner, "I'm Batman," as he tried to overpower them. According to the criminal complaint, Powers forced his way into 4 different homes in the late afternoon of February the 6th. The events, the neighborhoods that these were in. A man later identified as Powers walked in through an unlocked door and confronted a person living there. The person said, "Hey, this guy burst into my house, put me in a bear hug, put his hand over my mouth and said, 'I'm Batman.'"
Justice.
The person was able to get free and left the house. From there, police said Powers made his way to another home where he found a man outside the residence. Powers allegedly put the man in a chokehold and dragged him into the house. The man told police that Powers went through his pockets and took his money. Powers allegedly then turned the man's gas stove on high and forced him outside into his truck before driving off. Police reported he made his way into a third home after driving in between stops 2 and 3 at 100 miles per hour, where he crashed a truck.
This guy really did think he's Batman.
Yeah. The third homeowner called 911, went back into the house for safety. And then the fourth home invasion happened. Police admit.
Was there any rationale for this ban?
Well, this might be it here. Police believed he had either been doing meth or bath salts.
There it is.
Haven't heard about bath salts in a while.
Yeah, it's been some time.
Yeah.
Bath salts, I mean, I'm sure it's just the norm in Florida. That's probably why you don't hear about it. But I haven't heard about bath salts in a while. I mean, yeah, that was the obvious direction in which this was headed. So I'm not surprised to hear it end up that way.
A little bit of superhuman strength.
Yep.
You
think
he's
you're Batman.
Yeah.
Starting invading houses.
Finally, we go to New Zealand, and I want everyone who is a fan of this entire station, 6A to 6P, to listen up, because this is important. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Big statement. Okay.
New Zealand police said Wednesday they found more than 3 tons of cocaine floating in a remote part of the Pacific Ocean after it was dropped there by an international drug smuggling syndicate. While they've yet to make any arrests, police say they had dealt a financial blow to everyone from the South American producers of the drug. As you know, you lose 3 tons of cocaine, that's gonna dent your pocket.
Probably gonna hurt the bottom line.
Yeah. New Zealand police commissioner said the cocaine had been dropped at a floating transit point before it was intercepted by a Navy ship, which was deployed to the area last week. The ship then made the 6-day trip back to New Zealand, where the drugs were documented and destroyed.
Huh.
Why is this so important, Josh? Why? Because I believe this will be the start of the Cocaine Bear sequel, Cocaine Shark.
Cocaine Dolphin.
Cocaine Dolphin. Cocaine anything that lives in the ocean.
Cocaine Fish.
Cocaine Mermaid.
Yeah, Shark. Yeah, Cocaine Shark for sure.
Yeah, that was Cocaine Shark was trending on Twitter for quite a while yesterday. Due to
I would
that
not want to
story.
see Cocaine Shark.
No.
I mean, the movie, yes.
Yeah.
The actual shark, no way.
No. And so if you're a fan of the upcoming Cocaine Bear, which is coming out at the end of this month, which, fingers crossed, I believe our 1620 The Zone watch party is happening. We don't have details yet, but
there has been some movement on that front.
Yeah, chatter, if you will.
Yes.
That we will watch Cocaine Bear as a group and laugh at it together as a family.
Yeah.
And hopefully in a few years we can get together and do the same for Cocaine Shark.
Hell yeah. It's going to be dope.
I see what you did there. It's clever. Funny guy.
Cocaine Shark coming to theaters in 2025. Can't wait. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. Rev Tom tweets in, Connor
Rev
here
Tom.
for victim blaming.
Yeah, that is kind of what happened, isn't it?
Yeah, in that case, I was. In that very specific case. Yeah, I mean, just gotta take a little self-inventory, that's all. That's all. We will come back noon hour. What?
Like the salmon headed to Capistrano.
There we go. Nobody called Josh out for doing a wrong quote. Is the correct quote.
It is draft day in the end. It is deadline day in the NBA.
Oh, what happened now? Is it a Woj?
George Hill has been traded.
Oh yeah, George Hill,
as he has been every year for the last 47 NBA trade deadlines. The
Congrats.
Pacers are acquiring him now.
Yeah, he's gonna be on at least like 8th team, somewhere around there. Yeah, he's played for the same team multiple times. He's just one of those guys. He's like a 30-year-old reliever.
Yes.
All right, Dave Tollefson, Super Bowl champion. We'll get some insight on sort of what this week is like, and we'll hear some good stories, I'm sure. Next with Dave on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Here's this week's Maverick Minute. The Maverick men's basketball team held a 12-point lead in the second half last Saturday, looking to sweep the series versus the Western Illinois Leathernecks. But Western Illinois clawed back and captured the lead with 1:34 left to play and held on for a 75-72 win over the Mavs. The Maverick men fall to 3-10 in the Summit League. And that's your Maverick Minute on your home for the Mavs. News Talk 1290, 1180 The Zone, and 1620 The Zone.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
Roxanne Watson is on a mission to have more people sign up as organ, eye, and tissue donors. What drives her? Roxanne received a heart transplant made possible by an organ donor.
I decided that day to devote myself to signing up the most people in the United States. That's my goal.
Now she's a powerful force for good. What could you make possible as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Leave behind the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
So, how are the kids?
Well, Emily made the honor roll.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, we're really proud of her. Tyler, on the other hand, though.
What's going on?
He's been moody lately, just feeling down and not like himself.
Oh, we've been there. Nick was struggling last spring. He was so anxious and stressed.
Really? What helped?
Well, he joined the soccer team. And ever since, he's been a lot happier. He has more energy, he's less stressed, and he's definitely in a better mood at home. It's made a huge difference.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad he's getting out of the house, he's getting some exercise, and he's off his phone for once. It's been good for his mental health.
Sounds like it's been good for your mental health, too.
Participating in Nebraska high school sports improves students' physical and mental health. Encourage your son or daughter to get involved. This message presented by the NSAA and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health.
If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
John and Josh here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. We all have our systems when we bet, from picking that perfect upset to combing through injury reports the night before the game. But there's one thing every bettor should include in their system: responsible gaming tools available on FanDuel Sportsbook. These are tools that help keep your play in check and under control. And there's so many tools to choose from, like time limits, so you don't unknowingly spend more time on the app than you intended.
Absolutely, John. Not to mention wager limits to help prevent you from betting more than you should. And you can even take a timeout, which pauses your account for as long as you may need. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be about fun and entertainment. So visit FanDuel.com/playwell and make responsible gaming tools a part of your system. FanDuel.com/playwell. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Super Week coverage is brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office and by Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. We're joined now on the phone by Dave Tollefson, two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. Dave, first of all, hello. How are you?
Hey, good, man. How are you doing?
Good. It's Dave Tollefson week, right? Everybody's calling you this week.
Yeah. It's still weird even when I hear you say two-time Super Bowl champ.
Well, you would think you would have gotten used to it by now, right?
I always joke my buddies and tell them Eli Manning didn't win a Super Bowl without me. So,
I mean, it's technically true.
it is.
So you got that. What's this week like? I mean, just take us. You get down way early, and you have all the stuff that you have to deal with before. I'm sure it gets really old. I imagine it's really cool at first, and then it becomes sort of annoying by the end of the week. Like, take me through Super Bowl week.
Yeah, and honestly, both the first Super Bowl and the second one were two really total different experiences for me, to be honest with you. The first one, I was so young. It was my second year in the league, and I was like still worried they were going to cut me like an hour before the game or something like that, And I didn't have a lot of people come to the game, so it was just different. The second one, I enjoyed much, much more as far as leading up to it. I was already established. I had a ton of family and friends come for the game. And, I played a lot more that season as well and contributed quite a bit. So they were really two total different experiences. I do remember, though, practicing in Indianapolis, and for some reason, Coughlin, swore that dome was going to be 80 degrees inside. So we practiced in this bubble at the University of Indianapolis all week, and he had the heat on 100. It was miserable, and it wasn't even that hot for the game.
They keep it. I've heard they keep it pretty cold. We went there for media days a couple of years ago, and they keep it pretty cold in there. Sometimes they just straight up open up the roof. That's how they like it. I don't know where Coughlin got his scouting report, but it was some bad info.
Who knows? That guy, he kind of does whatever he wants, and we just have to do what he says, right?
So when you go to Super Bowl week the first time as a rookie, like you said, you handled it completely different the second time around. You're a little less comfortable the first time. As you're going through the interviews and everybody's pulling at you whichever way, are you just taking it really, really seriously? Or I guess what are those first couple days like when you finally arrive on the scene there?
Yeah, I would say that's a really good way to put it. I was just I didn't want to mess anything up. Not just for me personally, whether it was getting tickets or something, but I played mostly special teams, and I was deathly afraid that I was going to be the guy that the punt hit, and I gave a turnover or something like that. It was really wild, and I came from the Raiders. So I was on the Raiders practice squad at the beginning of the season who they were the worst team in the NFL. And then all of a sudden I'm playing in the Super Bowl. I'm like, this someone has to wake me up. This has to be a dream.
Dave Tollefson is with us, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Giants. Who's the most random person to ask you for Super Bowl tickets? And how does that work? Do you get them, or what happens?
So I think you get 4 and you can buy 11 more for face value. I'll tell you this. The second Super Bowl, I think we won and I got paid $85,000. I can't remember exactly. I didn't make a penny that week. I paid for everybody's hotels, and it was the best money ever spent. It was so fun. There were probably 25 people there and only 15 came to the game. And it was just awesome. My son was born. It was just, I don't know. That second one was so much fun. I had grown up so much. And I was comfortable in my position on the team too. And so it's weird. The first one, you're just trying to get to the game, right? Let's just get to the game. And the second one, it just seemed like it was hey man, let's enjoy this. I went to lunch with my family during the week, and I don't know. It's just a totally different experience, man.
Well, that's sort of what I wanted to get into, because you're looking at a couple teams in this Super Bowl who one has experience being there. I mean, the core of it at least, and certainly the quarterback and the main pieces around him, and one doesn't, and they're young and they are probably doing it for the first time. So like, you're a big believer in the experience piece with this specific game matters.
Yeah, for sure, man. And everything it's so multiplied. Like, if you lose this game, it's over. I mean, obviously the playoffs are the same way, but like, any mistake can just get so magnified, and it's going to be interesting because obviously I have a ton of trust in Patrick Mahomes. I think Philly's quite a bit more talented, but some of the young guys, Jalen Hurts, he's been playing great. I think he's arguably the MVP at one point during the season, but like, does he finally make a mistake, throw a pick? I mean, everyone can make mistakes. I mean, Tom Brady, obviously, he made a mistake in the second Super Bowl against us. He threw that ball down the middle of the field first drive, and it was a safety. So it's the stage is so grand. Every mistake can kill you,
Yeah. Who sort of, so I was wondering the same thing about this for the Eagles this week. So you sort of wonder with the young team, and on that, on that team, you have Jason Kelsey, a guy who's done it before. And that's huge from a leadership standpoint. But like, for you guys in 07 and you're playing undefeated Patriots, like who steps in and sort of sets the tone for the week when you're dealing with a bunch of guys who are new and they haven't had much experience doing any of that?
It was Strahan. So it was actually really interesting. Excuse me. He talked to the team and he said, this is what we're going to do when we get to Arizona. The first day we're down there, we're all going out the first night. Everybody. Go have a good time, have some drinks, party, and then we are not doing anything the rest of the week. And he was really straightforward about it. He's like, we want to enjoy ourselves this first night, get it out of your system, and then we'll party after the Super Bowl. And I'll tell you what, Tom Coughlin, obvious, serious head coach, but both those teams, the one thing they had in common in 07-11 is like, we practiced really hard. And it, man, you could tell when we got in the game that everything was so refined for us, man. Everything's, oh, you guys are lucky you beat the Patriots, you're undefeated. Like, man, we had an impeccable game plan. We knew up front we'd have to make plays as a D-line in both Super Bowls, really, and we put the pressure on us, and we executed, man. But it was really Strahan from a leadership standpoint.
You think about it, and it's been 15 years now. Since I know it's crazy to think about. But that's still what people talk about from that game. It's the Patriots losing more than it was the Giants winning. Does that bother you?
No, not really. Man, it's so hard to get this across to people, but really with both Super Bowls, we kind of knew we were going to win, as crazy as that sounds. We had played the Patriots in the regular season both those years. We beat them in 2011. Obviously, we lost to them in 07, last game of the season. But we played really good, and we knew if we executed, like, it was like our team. Honestly, the Patriots probably would have beat any other NFC team, but we were such a bad matchup for them with the guys that we had up front. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, we knew we were going to win as long as we executed. Funny story, I was blocking Teddy Bruschi, and I threw him out of bounds on punt, and he hit a ref and knocked him down. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's the freaking Super Bowl." I didn't say Britt, though. I was like, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm trying to win the Super Bowl, even if I got to block you, man."
Right. I mean, that is a huge deal when they're undefeated and they got a whole bunch of stuff that they're dealing with, right? And you guys, there's so much value in, we've talked a lot about the experience piece of it already, but there's some part of it where you don't know what you don't know yet, but also, and both these teams will have this week too, which makes it such an interesting matchup. They know exactly who they are, and they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Right. So, when you have that kind of confidence going into a game, it doesn't really matter who you're playing, especially in the NFL where there's, not going to be a huge wide variance in terms of, the talent that you're going up against.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited for Sunday. These teams are both playing really good football. You have two defenses that can get after the quarterback, Chris Jones and Frank Clark, then Hassan Reddick and those guys over in Philly. Like, I'm excited for it. The only thing that will be a problem for Philly is if Kansas City keeps it close, man, Patrick Mahomes is hard to bet against late in the game.
Yep.
You know?
That's the thing for me too. Like I look at it, I'm saying, man, I really like the Eagles and their body work. They've checked every box this year. But then I think about it on the other side and I think, well, they have Patrick Mahomes. And then this week I've just been grappling with it the entire week. And I think I'm leaning toward the Chiefs just because they have that guy. And it's nothing against Hurts, but I just think that's where it's going to come down to.
But I feel like it's a good matchup though. Like, you can convince yourself either way of either team winning. I mean, I don't think across the board, there's matchups that favor both teams. So, I'm excited. Obviously, I hate Philly.
Right.
You remember that Deshaun Jackson punt return?
I do.
Oh my gosh, I think I'd fight him if I ever saw him in real life. Just punch him in the face. I don't even know him, but I probably would.
Would watch.
But
Yeah.
I hate Philly, man. So, but I love Jalen Hurts. I mean, what a story. Like, kid stays as a backup at Alabama, transfers to Oklahoma. Like, I mean, and the guy has just performed at a high level everywhere he's gone. And I honestly didn't see it. I didn't think he'd be this good.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is going to be up your alley, and we all love watching the quarterback play. There's going to be some sweet O-line, D-line matchups in this game, specifically with the Philly O-line and the Chiefs D-line. I mean, the Chiefs did their thing with Jones getting loose in the AFC Championship game, but that's the matchup I think we're all watching for the people who love football, right? Not just people who are watching the football game. We're like, I want to see that defensive line against that offensive line.
No question. And that pass rush for Philly against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I don't think the Chiefs O-line is nearly as good as Philly's, but man, Chris Jones getting after Philly's O-line, if he's a problem, it's not going to go well for Philly.
No doubt.
If they let him get loose, like you were saying, I just can't imagine that won't really dictate the outcome of this game,
I agree. I think that's got to be the difference. Like, if you're talking about if that happens, that probably means a Chiefs win, because I'm not counting on it right now. I have so much confidence in Philly's offensive line, even though Lane Johnson false starts every time. But that's,
oh my gosh, don't get me started.
Oh, I'm going to get you started. What?
No,
you're watching that game and you're watching him false start every single time. What are you thinking?
He's a cheater. I don't know how. So
why don't they call it though?
First off, they don't even line up on the line of scrimmage anymore.
No, he's
basically
way off.
Every tackle is lined up as like an offset running back.
He's already like pre-kick step before he's even kick step.
Like, you got to think, if you line up on the ball, you're probably 2.5 yards away before the ball snaps from Lane, and then he jumps off sides every time. So, but by the time you move, he's 3 yards, maybe 4 yards away from you. It pisses me. Dude, I'd smoke him. I don't know what I'd do, but I'd like bull rush him one time. That would drive me crazy.
Well,
you get me all fired up now.
Well, don't you have to go right at him? Like, that's the only thing you could do when there's that much distance, right? Like, you hopefully get him on his heels and then you just go right at his chest, right?
He's got such good feet though, man. He's such an athlete. He played quarterback in junior college.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met Lane on some quail hunts down in Oklahoma. He's a great dude, incredible talent, but it's like, I don't understand why they let him jump off sides though.
Why don't they call it? Like, I mean, this happens, and it's not just him. We see it all the time. I mean, it's every week this will happen, and they don't call it. Those and the delay of games too. They let the clock get all the way down to 0 and it hits 0, and you're like, shouldn't this be a flag? And it just doesn't come.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The rest this year, obviously, what did Goodell say yesterday? This has been the best year of officiating we've ever had.
Classic.
He sounds like Trump at like a rally,
Everything's great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're doing great, guys. America, best country, best referees. Like, No, Goodell, they're not good. But honestly, that's probably one of the toughest jobs in sports. And you have old guys doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 41 and I can't even see good. What do you think some 6-year-old guys out there, like, these are the best athletes in the world running around.
Yeah, they're going to chase them down. That's the thing. Yeah.
You have somebody's grandpa as the head referee.
Yeah, it's not a great situation. And look, we talk about it in basketball all the time, and those guys are traveling around the country doing like 9 games a week. In football, it's only 1 game a week, but still, you got guys, running down people. It's a bad setup for everybody. And now there's so much attention on it too. When we have all this instant replay where we know exactly what happened after the fact, it makes for a pretty toxic situation for everybody involved, which makes it hilarious that Goodell is like, yeah, everything's fine. It's as great as it's ever been.
Yeah, Goodell just says whatever he wants. He just makes $40 million a year, and then he just does whatever he wants.
It's amazing.
I want his job.
Oh yeah, sign me up too. So I know you're going on with Nick tomorrow morning, but he did give me a little nugget about how you. What was it? Almost were credited with a sack in the Super Bowl against Brady, but you got him on a body part.
Sacked his sack. Can I say that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're free. So yeah, take me through it.
It wasn't a handful. I mean, I don't know how to describe it.
Was it as much as he showed in his underwear picture the other day on when he posted that?
I mean, listen, if I'm going to sack the quarterback, I'm not really too concerned about what I grab for, I mean, obviously I don't want to do it on purpose. That'd be weird. But so I sacked Tom Brady. I grabbed him by his nether region, took him down. Well, then Justin Tuck jumps on him. And so the game ends, and I'm like, dude, I got a sack in the Super Bowl. It's awesome. And I look at the stat sheet, and they gave it to Tuck. And what am I supposed to do? I'm going to be the guy complaining after we win a Super Bowl?
Oh, no, you got to bring that up for sure. I mean, you won, so you get to voice all of your complaints to whoever will listen to it. This is what you do, yeah.
Got to watch out for those sack guys.
The sack. Would that make sense?
Yeah, they should make a 30 for 30 about it.
The sack that never happened.
The sack.
And then sack could be in quotes.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're talking. Write a book, do a movie, whatever you got to do. Documentary. I think you could probably get Tom on the record now that he's not busy or he's probably off somewhere else. I'm sure he remembers.
Oh, dude, there's no way he forgot. He probably never had a hand that big down there.
Amazing stuff. Yeah. Dave, man, we appreciate the time and the stories. This is it's really fun for us, and I know we'll get a chance to talk again to Nick will tomorrow morning.
Anytime, Connor. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we'll talk to you later.
All right, take care.
That's Dave Tollefson, who won 2 Super Bowls. People forget.
What if I told you the greatest sack never happened?
Sack.
A 30 for 30 special.
Oh,
Half
man.
sack.
So the experience thing is, I've been thinking about that a lot all week. And ultimately, I don't know what the determining factor is in this game, but hearing him talk about how he handled it the first time, and keep in mind, he's in a different point in his career, right? He's trying to stay on the roster in 2007, where 11 he's pretty established with the Giants. But like all the stuff going through it for the first time, and you're just like the week, it just sounds like from him, the week can get really, really, really long, where you go back for the second time, and in the Chiefs case, it's the third time, you get, you're just taking it everything as it goes. You're having fun with it. You're sitting back like Mahomes, getting asked questions about what your favorite song is, and if you're going to buy a house in Arizona, and I don't know, everybody, you got your bucket hat on, and you're having a good time. Like if you're a young quarterback like Jalen Hurts, and I think this is a little bit his personality too, you just take it really seriously. And that doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, but I think subconsciously it probably tightens you up a little bit.
Yeah, it can definitely tighten you up a little bit. And I mean, I understand like the big pieces of that Philly team are vastly different than the team that won the Super Bowl 5 years ago. But there are pieces. There are some guys in that locker room that can go, hey, this is what you need to do this week.
Chill and bleep out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You're right. We probably don't give them enough credit for that. But
people forget the Eagles won the Super Bowl 5 years ago.
Oh, many don't forget. I still don't know. It's Thursday.
Not a clue.
Update. Still don't know. Don't know what's going on yet. So that is Dave Tollefson. Great stories from him, and he's going on with Nick and John tomorrow morning. So he's got. I can guarantee you this: it won't be the same interview. No. He's got a lot of stories. He's got a lot of things to say. It's brought to you by the NDOT and Dollar General Distribution Center. Coming back, Josh, let's flip. Let's go top 5 next.
Oh,
if you're ready.
I'm ready.
And then Bruntz after that.
Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
That's exactly right. We'll do that coming back next here on 1620 The Zone. But first, we all have our systems when we bet. Maybe you're looking at experience factor this week. Like Dave said, who's loose, who's not loose, trying to read the players. You go deep. Everybody does. But here's one thing you need to add to your system repertoire. That is the responsible gaming tools available for you on the FanDuel Sportsbook. They help you keep your play in check and under control. Time limits, so you don't spend more time on the app than you were originally intending to. Especially during Super Bowl week where there's endless things to bet. Wager limits to help you prevent betting more than you should. And you can even take a timeout, which pauses your account for as long as you may need. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be about fun and entertainment. So visit FanDuel.com/playwell and make gambling responsible gambling tools a part of your system. 21 and over, present in Iowa. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Marvin Windows has long been known for their lasting value and beauty. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is Omaha's first authorized Marvin Windows replacement contractor. For a free estimate, call Carp's Complete Home Exteriors or visit carpsomaha.com.
Welcome to Digital Express. On the Fort Omaha campus of Metropolitan Community College, Digital Express is an inviting space for people to learn and interact with technology. It's a place where multiple generations can feel comfortable. A place where K-12 students can come for support and workshops. A place where families can connect, learn, and create. And a place to ask basic questions about technology and receive low-cost technology repairs. For more information, visit mccneb.edu/Digital Express.
This is a sale so big that Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, and for a very limited time, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Carrier, turn to the experts. On qualifying equipment, for details, call or click.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Just happy to be here. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm former Husker Terry Keneally.
And I'm former Husker Titus Adams.
Titus and I used to sack quarterbacks, but now we're fighting for the children of East Omaha.
Terry and I are on the board of the Q's Fund, which supports the Q's school system, made up of Holy Name, All Saints, and Sacred Heart School, which I am a proud graduate of.
Our students receive a values-based education with the family support they need.
And they go on to graduate high school at a 96% rate.
Learn more about our children at qschools.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Morning, Mama. How you feeling?
Great, and I'm ready for you today.
I'm checking in on you. Morning meditation?
Check.
Dressed and ready to work out?
Check.
Check your blood pressure yet?
And check.
Boom! Great job, Mom. And about those gold earrings?
No, ma'am.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Monitor your blood pressure daily and help each other stay motivated. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72. Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply at hostcoffee.net.
All right, we're switching up. Bruntz will join here in about 10, 15 minutes. The odd news is here. I gave Josh...
No, it's not.
Sorry.
Try again.
Top 5. Top 5's here.
Yeah, there we go. Use take 2.
I gave Josh an idea for a potential top 5 based on something that I was going with, back and forth with from a listener today.
That's right. I never acknowledged that to you, and I enjoyed that idea very much.
Okay. So it's not happening today.
Not today.
It's almost Omahans.
People that are from here or did a lot of time here.
People that we take credit for that aren't actually Omahans.
Yeah. Great idea.
Okay. So that will be a future top 5 on a random day at some point.
Feel free to tweet yours to me at producer_Josh or at Happer Show.
What's today's?
Today we are going top 5 blockbuster trades in sports.
Topical as always, Josh.
Yeah, that's me.
Tomorrow. So tomorrow is top 5 Super Bowls.
We did that last year.
Oh.
So, no. Maybe top 5 gingers.
Yeah. I mean, you could go any direction, I suppose.
Can I say that word, or is that your word?
No, you could do whatever you'd like with it.
Okay. Well, as a non-ginge, I'll probably leave that to you guys.
Thank you.
But we begin. Top 5 blockbuster trades in honor of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant.
Is it across all sports?
Yeah. Yes.
Good.
All 4 major sports are represented on this list.
There's a hockey trade?
There's a hockey trade.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Hop in the DeLorean with me. Let's go back to NBA draft night 1956. Oh, that's a face.
I didn't think you were going there.
Nope. The Atlanta Hawks traded the rights to Bill Russell to the Boston Celtics for Ed Macauley and Cliff Hagan.
You know, I'm sure Ed Macauley and Cliff Hagan were okay.
I'm sure they panned out and had nice careers.
I'm sure they became great plumbers after they played basketball. People always do that. I'm actually annoyed by that now. I don't like when people do that. Oh, they played against plumbers. Like, all we have is the time that we have. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get too philosophical about it, but like, it comes up because of the people were so mad about the phones yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it's 2023. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Yes, it'll look really weird in 40 years, and it probably would have looked really weird if you would have shown a picture from from a couple nights ago to people who were in 1993.
You know what's great
but
about
it is what it is.
You know what's great about that photo of LeBron? No flash bulbs. I can see everything.
Yeah.
There's no circles of light.
Yeah. So, look, you played against what you played against. And your teammates were what your teammates were, and the game was what it was. That's all we could do.
Now, Ed McCauley was an NBA champion in 1958, 7-time All-Star. His number is retired by the Boston Celtics. Again, a nice career. But Bill Russell was
retired.
An 11-time champion who has a documentary on Netflix. And Bill Russell's number is retired across the National Basketball Association.
Yeah, one of the more, I don't know, those guys have so much mystique because we have very limited viewings of them, right? And a lot of people who actually watched him play just, straight up aren't around anymore. So he's got a lot of mystique.
Quick correction. The Hawks had not yet moved to Atlanta when this trade took place. It was the St. Louis Hawks.
Oh, the St. Louis Hawks.
Where Ed McCauley played college basketball. His number is also retired by the Billikens.
All right.
Number 4.
I didn't think we'd be talking Billikens on the show today when I got into work.
Yeah, that was a word you probably didn't think we were going to hit.
Number 4, Alex Rodriguez to the Yankees.
Oh, is that a Michael K pronunciation? Rodriguez. And, always for some reason bothers me when he says Rodriguez. Rodriguez.
I thought about going A-Rod, but
Did you see his golf shot at the Waste Management yesterday?
A-Rod or Michael K?
A-Rod.
Okay. No, I did not.
A-Rod stepped up on the whatever hole everybody parties on, where they kill you if you don't get it on the green. 16. And put one nice and snug. Shout out A-Rod.
Okay. Well, in what year was this?
So you could do the A-Rod not trade here.
Well, that's kind of why it elevated itself to the list, because the deal itself was reigning AL MVP A-Rod for Alfonso Soriano and a player to be named later who became Joaquin Arias. But the deal lives in lore because a deal was agreed upon earlier that week to the Boston Red Sox for Manny Ramirez. And that never happened.
I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Seriously. I mean, I just don't. A-Rod as a Red Sox wouldn't have made much sense to anybody's brain. It doesn't fit at all.
No.
It's really the Red Sox, steering into the rich version of themselves they became. Which is sad. Like I like a little bit of the character, and you sort of know what to get from each of these franchises. A-Rod is the perfect Yankee. He's totally hateable.
Clean cut.
Yeah. He's a Yankee. I mean, I think he was born in New York.
Yes.
He is a Yankee. I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I don't know that Red Sox fans would admit that, but it worked out well. And then he was a Yankee, and remember, he sucked in the postseason for a long time.
Yeah.
And then finally broke out, and they won the World Series in 2009.
February 15th, 2004 is the date that trade went down. So we're coming up on the 19th anniversary.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, A-Rod milestones, like rather than his 600th home run or his cause he had 3,000 hits too, right?
Yeah.
Rather than any of those, I remember him signing his big deal in Texas and how monumental that was from a money perspective at the time, and that trade. Those are the things that I remember about his career, and him slapping the ball out of what's his name's hands.
And yelling as someone rounded the bases.
Yep.
Or was that Jeter? No, that was A-Rod.
Someone rounded the bases. I don't remember that one.
I don't remember.
Okay, sorry.
Clearly, I only remember pieces of it. We move on. Number 3.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Top 5 blockbuster trades. Another Celtic shows up on the list. Kevin Garnett.
This is good. You're hitting the bullet points here. I mean, these are the most significant ones that I can think of too.
In 2007, the Timberwolves shipped Kevin Garnett off to Boston, and in return,
Dropkick Murphys.
Oh yeah, the Timberwolves received Al Jefferson, Ryan Gomes, Sebastian Telfair, Gerald Green, Theo Ratliff, cash, and 2 draft picks It is the most, at the time it was, I don't know if it still is, feels like it's probably pretty close, the most given up for one player in NBA trade history.
I forgot Sebastian Telfair was in that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian Telfair is still the best high school basketball mixtape any of us have ever seen.
Landed a Sports Illustrated cover
Yep.
out of the deal.
He did the spinny pass. He was crazy. So they already had, did they already have Allen and Pierce before that, or did they get Allen later? I know they had Pierce.
They had Pierce. I'm not sure when Ray Allen came in like exactly.
Yeah.
But Kevin Garnett's first year in Boston, they won a title.
Yeah. Yep.
His number's retired by the Boston Celtics as well.
Anything is possible,
There
Josh.
it is.
People forget that.
We were playing a game of chicken on that, I feel like.
I'm not going to yell it.
Here comes number 2.
The only trade on this list that the Canadian government tried to block, Wayne Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah. I figured that's what it was going to be when you said that hockey was involved.
Sure, absolutely.
Can't believe that happened.
I don't have the year in front of me. I was going to look up all these years for
I
better
got you.
context. But the Kings received Wayne Gretzky, Marty McSorley, and Mike Krashinsky. It's not because the Kings wanted those 3 players. It's because it was the only stipulation that Wayne Gretzky found out, hey, you want to trade me? Okay, that's fine. They were trying to do some backroom deals, and he said, here's the deal. If you're going to trade me, you're trading Marty and Mike with me. We're a package.
He's Wayne Gretzky. He could do that.
Yeah.
August 1988.
All right.
Yeah, I believe that's
Yep.
right.
Edmonton received Jimmy Carson, Martin Galinas,
Jimmy Carson,
3 picks and $15 million. Because the owner of the Oilers at the time was a little cash strapped. His other business dealings were not going so well. So 2 hours after the Oilers won the cup in 1988, Gretzky learned from his father, hey, they're trying to deal you.
So there's been a lot of stories done about basically the tree of this trade and who those picks ended up becoming. And apparently and then you could follow the players and what ended up happening in their careers as well. So the draft picks ended up becoming, let's see, Corey Foster, Martin Ruchinski.
Great hockey name.
If anybody's heard of these people. Nick Stajduhar. Apologize on any of these names, by the way. So I guess the loop just ended a couple years ago.
Oh wow!
From what I'm reading,
just you keep flipping pieces and
by a couple I mean almost 10.
Wow. Yeah, they made a 30 for 30 about this trade.
Yep,
it's a good one. One of the originals. But that leads us to the number 1 trade of all time. It's probably the trade you're thinking of.
What am I thinking of?
Well, I'll tell you after the music hits.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings.
He was the new man on the Minnesota Vikings.
He was the new man on the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the less said about him, the better. But the Cowboys received Jesse Solomon, David Howard, Isaac Holt, Alex Stewart, and 8 draft picks. The Chargers, I learned this today. I did not know this. This was a 3-team trade involving the then San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
And Darren Nelson, who gets forgotten in this whole thing whenever the story's told. But obviously, those draft picks became Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and 3 Super Bowls later.
People forget.
This looks like a bad deal for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, at the time, you're like, oh, we got Herschel Walker. This is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. End result. So there's a whole Wikipedia page for this trade.
Oh, wow. That's how you know it's a big deal.
Yeah. So the end result of the trade at the end of the 95 season, Dallas had 3 Super Bowl wins, Emmitt Smith, Russell Maryland, Clayton Holmes, Kevin Smith, and Darren Woodson. and the Vikings had 0 Super Bowl appearances and Jake Reed, a wide receiver. Poor Jake Reed, thrown under the bus there. But that's what those picks ended up becoming, basically. Yeah, I think it turned out well.
Not much. Yeah, that worked out for the Cowboys. Imagine if Jerry Jones doesn't make that one decision and how we look at him as an owner.
So the other on this Wikipedia page, the Herschel Walker trade, there's also the See Also column.
Oh, okay.
And it tells me that I need to look at something called Brock for Broglio, which was a baseball deal between the Cubs and the Cardinals that ended up significant in some regard. I'll read on that later. The White Flag trade, the Eric Lindros trade.
Yeah, that was one that popped up on quite a few lists.
The Jerome Bettis trade, the Ricky Williams trade.
Yeah.
There's been some moments where you're like, man, if that doesn't happen, things go a lot differently for these franchises. But
fun little what if.
You push all your chips in and you see where it ends up. That's all you can do. Just as the Suns are doing right now. Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
Very topical topic as he stays. We'll come back with Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7. We'll chat a little bit about Husker baseball. I saw some snow in the air.
Oh, no.
I am sad to report during our last hour here. But baseball is near. We'll talk about that and more with Bruntz next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
It's not a shirt
It
either.
is a shirt.
It's a hoodie.
Yes, it is.
No, it's a hoodie. So is the
shirt.
sweater a shirt?
Yeah. What?
No, it's not.
Anything that you put on that is not a jacket is a shirt.
What if it's a zip-up
hoodie.
sweater?
Zip-up hoodie is a jacket.
What?
Yeah.
I thought this would be an easy one that we'd all be like, yeah, of course.
I did too. I didn't realize I was sitting with two morons over here.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from a Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Windy and mostly cloudy this afternoon for your Thursday with a high of 38 degrees in Omaha, but feeling like the upper 20s and lower 30s with our wind chill. Expect gusts out of the north-northwest up to 40 miles an hour, especially into this evening and tonight. A 30% chance for early afternoon and evening light snow. Accumulation looking very little, up to a trace amount. Tonight, windy, but skies becoming mostly clear. Feeling like the single digits by tomorrow morning with a low of 18 degrees. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
Email Unsportsmanlike Conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection, plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street, next to Covey's. Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout, before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive.
The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent. More dependable, service that exceeds the norm. Good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guards.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. This year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you download FanDuel now, you use our promo code 1620, you can bet on Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet for up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if that first bet does not win. Whether it's money line, point spreads, props, and more, the FanDuel Sportsbook with that promo code 1620.
And Josh, I don't mean to disrespect the Chiefs, but I do like Philadelphia. We'll see if the line continues to move throughout the week as it did for the AFC Championship game, but the Eagles are my favorite. Claim that no-sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57 with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus in President, Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Your 16th ranked Maverick hockey team is back in action and competing for home ice in the NCHC tournament. With your help, they've won 6 conference home games in a row and are top 5 in attendance nationally. Omaha Hockey has 2 home series left. Colorado College, February 10th and 11th, and the home season finale and senior weekend with top 10 ranked St. Cloud. Get your tickets now and let's rock the Baxter. Get your tickets now by calling 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tics.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Breaking news.
Michael Bruntz.
This is the second time that breaking news has happened right when I come on the show. That's a good life lesson to be learned in all this. If you're going to give somebody over $100 million, make sure they're not weird.
Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7.
And we're joined now on the phone by Michael Bruntz, as aforementioned, Husker 24/7. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
How are you?
Not bad. What's up?
Nothing. Don't plan on any breaking news. Maybe there could be an NBA trade over the next 10 minutes, but I think all the significant damage is done.
I saw Darvish got a fat extension. That happened recently.
37-year-old Darvish got a 6-year extension. The Padres just have unlimited funds.
Yeah, I have to say that does not go unnoticed by potential Major League Baseball fandom free agents. So just making note of that.
Interesting. That would be that'd be quite the bandwagon to jump on. But they have
I know.
They have cool colors. I think you would look good in one of their jerseys or hats.
If they're given $108 million extensions though to old guys like my age, that's not a bad sign. They're willing to spend some cash.
Yeah,
and they appreciate old people.
Yeah, it's sending a message out to all the potential 40-year-old A's fans who are going to be free agents for sure. Bruntz, let's stick on baseball for a second. Let's start off with this. So. A lot of Nebraska baseball Mount Rushmore talk yesterday. Did you engage in any of it?
I watched from afar.
So you have the 3, and the obvious 4th is Dave Van Horn. But what if I told you that it had to be a player?
Yeah, that's okay. What if? Let me throw a name at you. So Dan Johnson. Does that get you get on the 4?
I think he would be below like Matt Hopper and Ken Harvey.
Okay, I could get on board with Ken Harvey. Hopper would be one that I consider. Bob Serve.
For sure.
That's way before everybody's time. But I don't know. The 4th one's hard if it's not Van Horn, and I don't even know that there's anybody that was kind of like in that 2005 era that makes a ton of sense either. I mean, there were a ton of good players, but I don't know that anybody rises to the level.
Well, yeah, like
Alex Gordon.
Alex was the face of it, and he's already on there. And then if you wanted to include anybody else from that run, I guess it would be Jabba, but I don't know that you would do that because his career at Nebraska was short.
It was, yeah. I mean, it's kind of that 2005 pitching staff is pretty amazing. The number of guys that either were in the majors or got really close and had pretty darn good career. I mean, Tony Watson was a midweek guy that year. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think that people would go for throwing Zach Kroenke on there.
Probably not. As much as I like Brian Dunsing, he probably doesn't enter that conversation either. I would go Van Horn. That's where I would probably go.
Yeah.
But player wise, I would say Hopper would probably be the next one on the list for me. Hopper or Johnson.
I think that I would give the edge to Hopper. I mean, it was during what you would call the live bat era, but it was a lot of fun. The bats were definitely live during the Matt Hopper time.
Yeah, the baseball seams were different. It was a juiced up era.
Okay, so on the subject of Nebraska baseball, Will Bolt chatted a little bit the other day. He had some interesting points. It seems like he likes what they have from a pitching perspective. It's the question that we sort of ask every year. Okay, who are going to be the weekend guys? What were your takeaways from? I mean, I think they had an open practice too from just the last couple of weeks of getting ready to go for Husker baseball here.
Yeah, no, I think they like the kind of the framework of what they have on the mound. I think he didn't name a opening weekend rotation. I think they have a pretty good sense of who it's going to be. I mean, I think Emmett Olson and Jason Kaminska, the Wichita State transfer, are going to be your 1-2. They really like Caleb Clark, the freshman out of Canada. And then they've got starting options for that 4th game on the first weekend, and they're more balanced with lefties and righties. I think they can get lefty a little bit more this year than they have been able to. And Shea Shanneman has had some success at the back of the bullpen. I think he's going to be your closer to start the year at least, and you kind of fill in the roles from there. But I think they did do a pretty good job of adding some transfer arms, adding some veteran transfer arms. And, when you can take Shea Shanneman, who's a two-year, weekend starter, put him as your closer. You've got Kyle Perry coming in as a former Friday night guy. Brett Sears is a JUCO transfer. He'd been a Friday night starter at Western Illinois and had a really good JUCO career. He's probably a potential midweek guy for them. I mean, they just have a lot more options to go to, and that's not even some of the guys that younger guys that they had to rely on last year that got key innings like Jackson Brockett. So they've got options, and they've certainly gotten older there, which I think was kind of by design.
And last year, I mean, they weren't afraid about talking about what their goals were coming off of the season where they, lost in Arkansas. About they want to host the regional. That talk doesn't go anywhere this year. They're setting out the same goals. They know sort of where they want to be or the bar of where they want to be as a program. Does it feel like this team, just from a mental perspective, maybe is more equipped to handle? I don't know if it's the expectations that did them in last year, but just to handle that sort of idea of what they're supposed to be under Will Bolt.
Yeah, I think so, and I think what helps is, and this is especially true in the lineup too. I mean, they were so a small number of guys doing most of the heavy lifting. I think there's more kind of 1 through 9 talent in the lineup this year, and I think that helps. I think that they had the injuries to Buns and Perry last year early on, and I don't know that they necessarily had the kind of overall team feel that you need to be able to overcome something like that. I mean, it's a little bit of preseason, bluster and one of the things you talk about and, what's the personality of this team like, but it's much similar to the team 2 years ago versus last year's team. And I think that's a really, really good thing for this team. So, as far as expectations, I mean, it's always going to be to host a regional. Nebraska would not schedule the way that they do early in the season if that wasn't the goal. We'll see if they can get there, but that, from the time Will Bolt has come back, I mean, that's been his stated goal is they want to put themselves in a position to be playing baseball in Lincoln in June. So, this team's going to have to come together and figure out roles and everything, but I think they're set up a little bit better than last year to do that.
Bruntz, not much football stuff going on as of right now, except for, of course, our new friends Garrett McGuire and Bob Wager will be talking today. I'll be interested to hear from Garrett and see what his travels on the road have been like.
He got around to a lot of familiar haunts in Texas, it seemed like. But I mean, these are the two guys that I was probably most intrigued by when they started doing the Noah's Ark interviews and bringing guys up 2 by 2. And I think for Garrett, I mean, he's got an interesting room because you look at what they brought in, what they brought back, what they allowed to come back with, Xavier Betts and Garcia Castaneda. It seems like there's enough guys there in that group to be productive. Certainly his age, I'm sure, is going to be a topic of conversation. I guess as it should be when you're one of the younger Power 5 assistant coaches in the country. But
he's the youngest, right? I think he's the youngest.
Is he the youngest? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that dynamic and how you coach, guys who are basically your same age, is kind of an interesting thing that we've never dealt with at Nebraska. So, I mean, I'm expecting him to be poised and confident and, see right away why Matt Rule thinks so highly of him and what his future is in the profession.
Well, I think like most of these guys that, maybe you looked at the staff when they came in and you said, man, there's not much experience. There's not much Power 5 experience. Like, what is the staff going to be? And then once you hear them talk, you're like, oh, okay, I guess I understand, what they're sort of going for here. And all of a sudden it quiets down a little bit. This is like the last boss, I suppose, on this, because like you said, these were the two that you're like, oh, they brought in a high school coach and a 24-year-old. What's going on here? What's going on with this staff? So once you hear him talk today, it'll be like, oh, okay. I sort of get it now.
Yeah. I think what helps is you also have, these guys that are familiar with Matt Rule's way of doing things. I think that helps a ton versus if you just brought in somebody that you really hadn't worked with before. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see, especially what he thinks about the group that he has or has inherited, because they've at least been able to see them work out a little bit now too. So they should hopefully be a little bit more familiar with what's on the roster there.
Yeah, they got to watch Casey Thompson run out of the locker room first. People took very keen notice of that one the other day.
Just coming through that thing like the Zapruder film, but yeah, that was one thing that I noticed as well.
I actually had it written down as an exact question on my sheet. Did you study that like the Zapruder film? People also,
I didn't fine tooth comb it. I made note of a few people. They've had so much turnover too. It's kind of like you're pausing the video and kind of looking at somebody like, okay, I think this is who this is. At least they had numbers on. That helps a little bit.
Thomas Fedoni is big now.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's got like I don't know what you call it when you have like the full like leg pad. Is it still a sleeve? A pant leg?
Good question. A jort of a tattoo, like
he's got the capri. He's got the tattoo capri thing. Yeah,
tattoo capri and a man bun. Like he looks completely different.
Yeah, but he's running around, which that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. All right, Bruntz. Thanks for the time as always. Super Bowl pick: Chiefs or Eagles?
Eagles.
Yeah, that's predictable. Coming from you. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7, resident Broncos fan. Not going to be picking the Chiefs. Eagles with confidence from Michael Bruntz.
Everybody involved in the orbit of this show can't pick one of the two teams involved in the Super Bowl because of their own rooting interests.
Yeah. And hey, if it's that close, ultimately that might be what it comes down to for picking a team in this game. For more on that, we will chat next with Dave Skretta, who covers the Chiefs for the Associated Press. I don't know if we'll get into the how people think about the Chiefs piece of it, but the ins and outs of the game and what we're looking forward to on Sunday when we actually get into the football with Dave Skretta next on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in Western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialist can handle any heater repair. Call 402-788-1234 for $50 off any repair.
Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county. Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your heater running strong. Visit McCarthy's1hour.com to schedule your preseason tune-up for just $79.
Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
This is a sale so big that Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, and for a very limited time, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Carrier, turn to the experts. On qualifying equipment, for details, call or click.
The Creighton Blue Jays look to get one back on UConn as they rematch with the Huskies. Saturday pregame begins at 11 a.m. with Ravi Lula. Tip-off at 1. The Blue Jays, Saturday on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
At Baker's, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in-store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. It's one small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at bakersplus.com. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
If you're making party plans for the big game, Kansas City boneless strip steaks are $7.99 a pound in the family pack with your card. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Super Week coverage is brought to you by the NTOT Highway Safety Office and by Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Let's talk the Super Bowl from the Chiefs side of things with Dave Skretta from the Associated Press. Dave, happy Thursday. How are you?
Doing good. Starting to get a little busy out here.
I was going to say, do the days all just blend together when you're covering the Super Bowl in Phoenix?
Yeah. We're getting to this point. This is the last day where we have like the big availability for all the players and coaches and everything. And you're kind of getting to the point where you're sitting in the press conferences and you're like, yep, we've heard that answer. We've heard that answer. We've heard that question. We've heard that question. I think everybody's just ready to get on to the game at this point.
There's so much. and you need to write stuff every day and you need to sort of update, but like it can be, I imagine it would be difficult for the players to have the media availability every day and there hasn't been any sort of games happening or anything like that. At a certain point, it's just about getting through the week.
Yeah. I mean, how many more times are we going to hear about, Travis and Jason Kelsey growing up together? And, what else don't we know at this point? So,
yeah. Did you hear that
the players more than anybody else are ready to get on with it?
Did you hear that their mom made them cookies though?
No, I didn't hear that from everybody. No. It's just, I mean, it is, we, and I include you in this because you guys are so local to Kansas City, we all hear about the Chiefs year round and we know most of the stories and backstories, but I have to constantly remind myself that, there's a whole national audience that hasn't heard these stories. And so you have to kind of, let them do their thing too.
Well, I think they have by now. As we get closer and closer to the Super Bowl, you know what I'm surprised about sort of this week, and obviously he proved a whole bunch of people wrong in the AFC Championship game. I'm surprised we haven't really heard a peep, and I'm sure it's been asked a whole bunch about Mahomes' ankle. Like it's still a lingering injury that maybe there's some level of concern about, but this week has totally not been about that. Are you surprised that it hasn't really come up much?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they've just been so consistent, whether it's Pat or Andy or any of the other players for that matter, having the same message that he's going to be just fine and be close to 100%, that you kind of start believing it. I mean, they sort of convinced me, and the fact that it's been 2 weeks since the AFC Championship game, look, he's not probably going to be 100% until June or July, but he's going to be a lot better than he was against the Bengals. And, I think there's every reason to believe he's going to be able to do everything that the Chiefs want him to do in the game on Sunday.
I love his approach to it too. He just says, you know what, whatever, I might be hurt, but I'm playing. So what does it matter? Like, stop asking about it.
Yeah. Like that last play in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. He can hardly walk, but if the alternative is getting tackled or running to get yourself in field goal range to go to the Super Bowl, yeah, it's going to hurt like hell, but I'm going to run and I'm going to get into range for the field goal. So, at this point, you're in the Super Bowl. It's the last game. It is what it is. You go out there and you play.
I think a big part of the conversation this week has been about experience and the Chiefs' experience in the Super Bowl and Andy Reid's experience in the Super Bowl. And makes a huge difference, and it matters in a game that has, the magnitude as this one does. Have the Chiefs have they downplayed that this week, or is it just, hey, it's the game on Sunday and we just play who's in front of us? I have to imagine that matters when you actually go out there, but it's a weird thing to sort of talk about.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because actually I was talking to Mark Donovan, the Chiefs president, kind of just off to the side this morning, and I was asking him what the difference was between this Super Bowl and the one in Miami, the first one during this run. And he said, everything is so calm right now. Everybody knows what to do. And it's not just Andy. A lot of these coaches were on that staff too. Some of the players were. And at that time, the Chiefs hadn't been to a Super Bowl in 50 years. Everything was new and exciting. And now it's, 3 and 4 years. And one of them was weird because of the COVID situation. But they know what to do. They know what, they know they're going to get all these dumb questions from the media all week. They know everything's going to be crazy on that first Monday night at the press thing. So they've been through it. They understand it. There's some Eagles guys who have been through it too from a few years ago when they won it, but not as many, I don't think. And it probably does give the Chiefs an advantage.
Is the biggest matchup in the game the Chiefs? Well, I mean, you could really go either side as far as offensive, defensive line play. Is it Chris Jones against whoever he's going up against on the Eagles offensive line, or how do you sort of look at, some of the biggest matchups in this one?
Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid even said it this morning that these games are kind of won and lost on the lines, and I think it goes both ways. You mentioned Chris Jones against basically the same guy that he just absolutely dominated when these two teams played way back in 2017. I think he had 3 sacks in that game against the same guy he's going to be going against on Sunday. If he can disrupt the offense for the Eagles, that's a huge bonus for the Chiefs, because if they're able to sit back there and pick apart the Chiefs, that's a lot of trouble. And then on the flip side too, you've got a really, really good Eagles pass rush that's going to be loading up against Andrew Wiley on that side of the line. And if they can pressure Mahomes and Pat isn't good enough on that ankle to move around like he wants to, then that's going to be a problem for the Chiefs. So I think it's not the sexy thing that everybody sitting at home wants to see, but the play on the two lines is going to be probably the difference in the game.
I think they quelled some concerns in the AFC title game again about this, but they were really short on wide receivers for that game, and they're still sort of short now, getting a couple guys back. I guess how big does that sort of loom in this game, even though the Chiefs have sort of been able to make do without, I mean, obviously, when you talk about, Tyreek Hill last year and the years before that, they've gotten over that piece of it. But even the group that they had this year is kind of beat up. How does that look going into Sunday?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the fear is not that they aren't going to be able to play. It's that something happens during the game and puts them in that situation again. We've seen now over the course of the season that Juju Smith-Schuster gets banged up and has these random things like a knee swelling up that took him out of the AFC title game. Kadarius Toney was limited today again in practice. He's been limited all week. He's going to play, but he's a guy that, like Tyreek Hill, relies on quick change of direction and start-stop. And if he can't do that on a sore ankle, then that's a problem. They do get Justin Watson, who was sick and inactive for the AFC title game, so that helps a little bit. I think the biggest help is that Travis Kelce isn't, at least so far, knock on wood, doesn't have any back spasms to carry into this game. And when you're talking about the pass catchers, he's probably at the top of the list ahead of all those wide receivers. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a fear that maybe some of those guys aren't going to be 100% and something will happen during the game, but at least for now, it looks like all of them will be available.
How much interest should we have in the Chiefs activating Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week, considering they have a couple really capable backs who have stepped in his place, and especially Isaiah Pacheco? Like, is that a factor at all for you going into this one?
Not really. I mean, I think conceivably he could take Ronald Jones's spot on the active roster on game day. I think they kind of activated him because they could, right? McCole Hardman's not going to be available, so they put him on IR. It opened up a spot to bring Clyde Edwards-Helaire off. But if I'm a team, and I don't know that right now I want to mess up what's working between Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon and the offense as a whole by inserting a guy who hasn't played since November.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either. I mean, Pacheco has been a revelation. He's been fantastic. He's one of the most fun players to watch, I think.
He is, and it's been a great story for the Chiefs, and you hate to say it, but it's been a terrible story for Clyde Edwards-Helaire because of the juxtaposition of these guys. A guy that was taken almost dead last in the draft in the 7th round and has exceeded all expectations. He's been this revelation, like you said, versus the guy that was a first-round pick that has never been able to stay healthy and get it going. So it's certainly been as good of a year as it could be for Isaiah Pacheco, and for a guy that's probably looking for a contract, about as bad of a year as it could be for Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Big picture before we let you go. How would you rank the 3 Chiefs Super Bowl teams, including this one?
Boy, that's a great question.
I don't even know how honestly, I don't know how I would. I think it's possible that this one is the 3rd out of 3, but I don't know. That's just maybe because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I would frame it this way. I think this is probably the 2nd best team they've taken into the Super Bowl. I think the team that won it in Miami was probably the best when you look at having Tyreek Hill on the team and some of the weapons that they had. I think the team they took into the Super Bowl against Tampa was probably the worst just because of all the injuries they had on the offensive line. I think those of us who followed that team all season kind of saw that coming, maybe not to the extent that they were blown out, but you kind of saw that, this might not go very well. And this team just is found a way to get it done all season. Do they have the better roster from 1 to 53 when they're lined up against the Eagles? No, probably not. But they still have the best quarterback in the NFL. They've got the best tight end in the NFL. They've got players on both sides of the ball. So they've got a fighting chance for sure.
Yeah, so that changes the question a little bit. You could do it where you rank them against themselves and their own versions of themselves, and then you can rank them on opportunity or chance to win the game. And that might be a different conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think of the three opponents that they're facing, I mean, the Eagles are every bit as good as the Bucs were, and might actually be better. So it's also the tallest task that any of these three teams have probably faced in the Super Bowl.
Dave Skretta, the AP, covers the Kansas City Chiefs. Dave, appreciate the time. Enjoy what you can in the desert over the next couple of days. And thanks for joining the show over the last couple of weeks. Talk to you soon.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.
David Skretta, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think here's the one thing that hit me there as we've really honed in on this experience idea today. Talking about how everything's calm. I think I'm picking the Chiefs.
Oh, you're making it official.
I mean, but getting into it X's and O's wise, and then thinking about it big picture wise at the end, what version of the Chiefs are we looking at? And how good is this Eagles team when you compare them to the other teams that the Chiefs have played the Super Bowl, or just other teams in general? You could start to flip it over the other way. As on paper, they're really, really good. On the field, they're really, really good. It doesn't do them, the Eagles, justice to say they're just really good on paper, because that's not the truth. They're really good on the field. But I just think we're dealing with really small things here because of how close it is. And I might give the edge to the team who, number one, has Patrick Mahomes, and number two, has a calm about them this week. That I think that bodes well.
It's deadline day, Connor.
Yeah, there's been a lot that's happened over the last hour. Most of it minor.
John Wall is a rocket again.
Yes, what is going on with that?
But the one I played the sounder for, the Lakers are trading Pat Bev to the Orlando Magic for Mo Bamba.
Pat Bev was a part of history. He got to do his job in LA.
Yeah, he did.
Also seeing this, 4 of the 9 Villanova players on active NBA rosters have been dealt in the last 18 hours. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, I'm sure a lot of them have been over the last hour that I've just missed, honestly. But yeah.
I'm sure you saw the video from the Villanova game last night.
Oh no, I don't think I did.
They were honoring Jalen Brunson at the Villanova game, and he learned.
I did see it. Yes,
he learned that. What was it, Josh Hart?
The Knicks traded for Josh Hart.
Yeah, and he was just ecstatic.
The Villanova boys stay together.
Joy, just pure joy on his face. Like, oh my gosh, I get to work with my friend. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean that was a cool video. Also, the other thing that's happening in the NBA today, I want to talk about this a little bit more coming back next. But there is a new investment opportunity for teams in the NBA. It's this really cool new thing that people are doing. So we'll get you the new market inefficiency coming back next on 1620 The Zone. I also wanted to mention, by the way, Dave Skretta, brought to you by the NDOT and Dollar General Distribution Center. Will come back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update. Creighton men's basketball is back at CHI Health Center next Saturday as they host the UConn Huskies. Tip-off is set for 1 p.m. Limited tickets are still available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus UConn next Saturday at 1 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
The big game, the big kahuna, the World Series of Football. Whatever you want to call it, it's happening. This week, it's Super Week on 1620 The Zone. Super Week is powered by the NDOT Highway Safety Office and by Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair. Catch all our big game coverage all week long as we gear up for Sunday. Super Week on 1620 The Zone. Powered by the NDOT Highway Safety Office and by Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair.
It's game day for Omaha men's basketball on News Talk 1290 Quote. The Mavericks on the road taking on North Dakota State. The Bison, one of the top teams in the Summit, impose a stiff challenge for the Mavs. We'll hear the play-by-play beginning at 6:30 with the pregame show, 7 o'clock tip-off right here on News Talk 1290 Quote.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the potty, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. A grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushioning things so our cheeks feel fly. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Friends, it's the biggest game of the year, and FanDuel has the perfect way for everyone to get in on Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat same-game parlay. That means everyone gets bonus bets back if your Super Bowl same-game parlay does not hit. And if you're new to FanDuel, just look for the SGP logo. Those are same-game parlays. Parlay any one of the great prop bets with the game result, and your payouts will get even bigger, all for the big game, Super Bowl 57 with FanDuel.
John, the bets that I like this weekend, well, Travis Kelce's playing. Give me an anytime touchdown from the Chiefs tight end. Also, Jalen Hurts finally doing it on the ground. Give me the over on his rushing yards. No matter what, you will get bonus bets back if your no-sweat same-game parlay does not hit, as long as you use our promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa, 3+ legs minimum, $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Your 16th ranked Maverick hockey team is back in action and competing for home ice in the NCHC tournament. With your help, they've won 6 conference home games in a row and are top 5 in attendance nationally. Omaha Hockey has 2 home series left. Colorado College, February 10th and 11th, and the home season finale and senior weekend with top 10 ranked St. Cloud. Get your tickets now and let's rock the Baxter. Get your tickets now by calling 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tics.
All right, just a couple quick thoughts here on what's going down in the NBA right now. Trade deadline's in 34 minutes.
Oh, deadline day.
There will be no less than 6 more trades to happen in that amount of time. And it's stupid. The NBA is hilarious and fun to watch, but only from now until June. Why?
Oh, did we all not have a great time Tuesday night? How quickly we forget.
Okay, but that was a one-time occurrence, Josh.
Okay.
That was a one-time occurrence. The NBA is, all of these teams are completely changing right now. Stars are moving, role players are moving, teams are buying up and they're selling down or whatever it might be. Like, we have teams that are completely changing right now, right before our eyes, to where we have to wake up tomorrow morning and check everybody's rosters and see if the team actually makes any sense anymore. Why does this happen? Because everybody has a chance to make the playoffs. So they're like, oh, well, we could be a playoff team if we really wanted to be. I don't know. No, and nobody cares about seeding anymore. Why? Because nobody tries in the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many playoff teams, and nobody cares so much till you get to this point, and this is the only part that matters. And the Lakers, for example, are sitting as the 12 seed right now or something like that? Or
no, worse than that. I believe it's 13th.
And they're like, yeah, it's fine. As long as we make the play-in tournament, we'll be fine. Oh, yeah, by the way, there's a play-in tournament. So, 9, you could be the 9th team and still theoretically make the playoffs. And then you play that 1 seed in the first round, and you're like, does it actually matter? They're the 1 seed in seeding, but are they the 1 seed in my heart? No.
5 teams in each conference do not make the play-in or playoffs.
So if the NBA ever wanted to wonder, and maybe they don't care, it's very possible that they just don't care. In fact, it's likely. But if they ever wondered why nobody pays attention from October until February, this is it. Nobody actually cares about it. Stars are sitting out. Individual games don't mean anything. And the entire team gets traded or bought out in February. So congratulations to the NBA on starting today. Nice job. Also, there's this other growing trend in the NBA today. And I think it's actually genius. So you've seen multiple trades today where teams have acquired a player in exchange for 4, 5, 6 second-round picks. And the thought process is this: why do I need a second-round pick? If you're the team that is being inquired to, say you have pick a random NBA player. I am the Jazz, and this is very random, by the way. I am the Jazz, and I want. I'm trying to make it funny. Give me a funny random NBA player. Juancho Hernan-Gomez.
There you go.
I'm the Jazz, and I want Juancho Hernan-Gomez. And I am willing to give up a second-round pick for it. Well, I don't even know who Juancho plays for, or if he plays anymore.
He got traded yesterday in that Russ deal, right?
No, that was.
Oh, did I do it? I'm sorry.
It's not race. It's not racist.
Okay.
It's just it sounds the same.
Okay.
You're thinking of Juan Toscano Anderson.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Juancho Hernan-Gomez, who I don't even know if he plays for. But
which one was the Adam Sandler movie about?
Juancho Hernan-Gomez.
Okay.
So if you're the team that employs him, you're trying to acquire picks, and the team that is attempting to get him, you could just name your price. Say,
Juancho is a Raptor. Sorry.
1 pick. How about 2? Why not 3? Why not 4?
Little pot sweetener.
Why not 5? So that's what's happening today in the NBA. Teams are trading handfuls of second-round picks, and it's genius. Why? Because second-round picks hardly ever amount to anything in the NBA. In fact,
The data is there, yeah.
picked outside of the top 10 hardly amount to anything in the NBA. So if that could be the pot sweetener on you getting a role player that could either help you win a championship or help you make a deep run in the playoffs, then by golly, go do it. What's the difference? It's 5 second-round picks. Who cares? They'll probably end up flipping them back to in a different trade later on.
Mm-hmm. Someone's going to turn 5 second-round picks into something.
Also, a very sad day today for me because we were so excited about Bones Highland. The Nuggets were so excited about Bones Highland this year, and he was playing great at the beginning of the year, and then I don't know what happened. It just fell off a cliff. And the Nuggets just ditched him for 2 second-round picks today.
Just 2?
Yep. Could have got 4.
Yeah. Why not?
If they really wanted to. Good thing I didn't buy that Bones Highland jersey. I truly almost did at the beginning of the year. We will come back with more. Still plenty to get to. Haven't heard much from you guys today because we've been doing so many different things. So 951-1620, you can give us a call, send us a text. We could get in depth about the Jays last night or the Skurs. We have an interesting intersection between Chiefs haters and Chiefs fans this week, and they're all triggered. We got a text from Travis.
Everybody's triggered. Hi, Travis.
Who says, look, I totally understand it's a sports radio show, and it makes perfect logical sense to cover the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but I would rather shove an ice pick through my ear than listen to anything Chiefs Super Bowl related. And I got to tell you, I'm going to call you out on that one. I'm not sure I believe you. Is that a fair calling of the bluff?
Yeah, I would say so.
Shove an ice pick through your ear rather than listen to the radio?
Poll question?
I'm going to say no.
Which would you rather do?
I don't want to see the results on that one.
Okay. Too scared.
Yeah, I'm too scared.
That's fair.
Too fragile ego.
Yeah.
Bob Wager is talking as well. We'll come back. If there's anything from that, we'll get to it next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
I also refuse to give anything, no matter how satisfactory it was, the full 5 stars, because
that's not very helpful.
There's no such thing as perfect.
Do you fill it out?
Perfection is unattainable. Yeah, usually. What? I don't know. I feel like I'm helping.
You're not helping. You're giving them 3 out of 5.
Yeah, you're only helping if it's the maximum score or a 0.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show on Sportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P, 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Windy and mostly cloudy this afternoon for your Thursday with a high of 38 degrees in Omaha, but feeling like the upper 20s and lower 30s with our wind chill. Expect gusts out of the north-northwest up to 40 miles an hour, especially into this evening and tonight. A 30% chance for early afternoon and evening light snow. Accumulation looking very little, up to a trace amount. Tonight, windy, but skies becoming mostly clear. Feeling like the single digits by tomorrow morning with a low of 18 degrees. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision, the only place in Nebraska where you will find all 7 FDA-approved forms of modern vision correction. Schedule a consultation today by visiting their website, kuglervision.com.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Dell Technologies President's Day business event starts now with deals to power America's doers and dreamers. Save on select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for President's Day deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
John and Josh here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. We all have our systems when we bet, from picking that perfect upset to combing through injury reports the night before the game. But there's one thing every bettor should include in their system: responsible gaming tools available on FanDuel Sportsbook. These are tools that help keep your play in check and under control. And there's so many tools to choose from, like time limits, so you don't unknowingly spend more time on the app than you intended.
Absolutely, John. Not to mention wager limits to help prevent you from betting more than you should. And you can even take a timeout, which pauses your account for as long as you may need. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be about fun and entertainment. So visit FanDuel.com/playwell and make responsible gaming tools a part of your system. FanDuel.com/playwell. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The Creighton Blue Jays look to get one back on UConn as they rematch with the Huskies. Saturday pregame begins at 11 a.m. with Ravi Lula. Tip-off at 1. The Blue Jays, Saturday on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Are radon levels worse in the wintertime? Radon Defense Midwest tells us that indoor radon levels are normally at their highest in the winter or colder months because of the thermal stack effect. With a snowy barrier and tightly sealed homes, cold temperatures increase the pressure within the home, meaning more air is being pulled in from the ground, which elevates the risk of radon entering the home. Call for a special offer from our friends at Radon Defense Midwest. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer to 1620 The Zone listeners. Radonradio.com. They'll test and, if necessary, mitigate the problem.
Welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hudson with you. The Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Bob Wager, here, we got to give you a random piece of cheese here from Bob. When new Huskers tight end coach Bob Wager was asked if Nebraska can reestablish a recruiting pipeline in the state of Texas, he said, quote, "We're banking on it." Nebraska's back in Texas, folks.
That's a wager you can take to the bank.
Wager bomb.
It works more as a text quote
that's true.
than an audio quote.
Yes. We're going to bring you today, and I want to be very clear here. In no way we will make this a daily habit. So when you say something of the day, you are led to believe that it's going to happen every day. This is not the case here.
No, we will be very inconsistent on this.
This will be today's play-by-play call of the day. It comes to us from the NJCU Gothic Knights.
That's a great name, by the way.
Who were down 71-67 with just a few seconds left. And we will allow you to hear the call. This is a Division III school out of New Jersey. Here it is.
71-67 the score. Inbound, swung around, jump shot, it's good! Ryan Savoy cuts it to one, and NJCU has it! Floater, it's good! It's good! Jason Battle at the buzzer! NJCU wins! They stud number 23, Rowan, here at the buzzer!
My ears.
I purposefully did not listen to that or watch that before. I was aware of the story from last night, but I didn't listen to the play-by-play. And oh my.
Well, I had to listen to it this morning, so I made everybody else.
We apologize to all the dogs that might be in your car.
Yeah, that might simulate a dog whistle. That high-pitched tone that you can't hear.
It's almost like he's trying not to actually scream because he knows like his microphone will peak and it'll sound terrible and get distorted. So he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited!"
I was like, "All right, he's I get it. This is funny. He's got a pretty high pitched voice. He made the first three, and then they stole the ball and it got higher." Amazing call out of Division III, and that's our play-by-play call of the day. Brought to you by Could Be You. I tell you what, we do it more consistently if it was brought to you by somebody. I could guarantee you that.
I think somebody's going to slide in your inbox about that.
Interesting.
Making deals.
Yeah. Great news, and we'll talk about this more next week when we have a little bit more time to stretch out on it. Bill Connolly's returning production numbers came out for Nebraska football. Nebraska's returning production rate as a team is 69%.
Very nice.
That is good for 39th in the country, by the way. We talked about this before. I wouldn't pay much attention to these numbers, even though Nebraska ranks relatively well in it. But I know there's some people who are like touting the fact that Nebraska's defense played really well at the end of last year, and they get a whole bunch of guys back defensively. They get 66% back. Offensively, they get 72% back, by the way, which is both around the, middle of the road, top 50-ish in the country as far as the production numbers are concerned. I'm telling you, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I just don't know if these numbers are going to be really relevant for Nebraska, considering what they're changing. Now, to a certain extent, production is production, but especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like, I wouldn't just say, hey, look, they had a great defense at the end of last year or a good defense at the end of last year, and you add a couple more pieces and maybe you get a better scheme and a better, like, it's not exactly that simple. I still have to convince people, and I know the hype train is going to get rolling downhill here shortly if it hasn't already. especially if you include a certain commitment in the next month or so. But you still have to remind people it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be slow. Now, what's slow? Maybe slow for Matt Rule is starting off with 6 wins. Maybe that's slow. But competing for the West right away, I don't know. It still seems like a bit of a difficult thing to imagine. All right, we'll round things out on a Thursday next with our poll questions, and we'll tell you what to watch tonight on 1620 The Zone. First, this week's Zone deal is to Timber Creek Pizza and Pizza Pub and Grill. Pizza with an unforgettable pizza sauce and fresh ingredients in unique combinations and bold flavors. Great specials as well, and it's not just pizza. Taco salad, wings, burgers, all at Timber Creek Pizza and Grill, located on 178th and Harrison, or at timbercreekpizza.com. The deal this week, $50 worth of vouchers for just $25. That's half off, on sale tomorrow at 9, 1620thezone.com.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Planning something fun for your office, family, or friends? Joe's Karting is for you. Take a break. Come to Joe's to race, relax, and recharge. Great for team building. Ditch the speaker and burn some rubber. Trust us, Joe says you'll leave motivated. Joe's Karting race packages range from providing simple stress relief races to the real deal race experience. Check us out at joeskarting.com. Remember, go to Joe's, your place to race.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The average roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
Lanahaw Nurseries has been your dependable full-service source for locally grown trees, plants, and landscape materials. Rooted in tradition, our products and services are consistently ranked best of Omaha in quality and value. From design to install, our experts are here to help bring your landscape vision to life. Start your next project this weekend. Visit us at 192nd and Center. Lanahaw Nurseries, your homegrown headquarters since 1974.
Making plans to watch the big game? Nick Handley here from my friends at DJ's Dugout. Watch the big game at DJ's Dugout. Enjoy big game specials all day, Sunday, February 12th. Get a dozen of DJ's famous wings for just $10. In $5 32-ounce domestic beers and $7 32-ounce specialty and craft beer drafts. Cheer for Kansas City or Philadelphia and gather with friends for the big game at DJ's Dugout. Dig in at the Dugout.
Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill serves pizza with an unforgettable pizza sauce, fresh ingredients in unique combinations of bold flavors. Try customer favorites like the 3 Oinks and a Moo, the Mountain Man, or the Upset Grizzly Bear. There are daily specials and menu items like tacos, salads, wings, and burgers. Stop in and check out Timber Creek's family-friendly dining environment while enjoying a popular adult beverage. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill at 178th and Harrison and at timbercreekpizzaomaha.com.
Hey, well, first of all, I would like to remind you that Chris Stapleton comes to Omaha in July, and he's coming with Marty and the Warren Treaty, Marty Stewart.
Marty Cordero?
No, not that Marty. spelled differently too. July 19th, tickets are on sale tomorrow through Ticketmaster, and you can listen to Unsportsmanlike Conduct because they have tickets this week as well. I believe they'll give out a pair today, tomorrow. And you can find the details at 1620thezone.com. Before we, by the way, Tiny Baby Boy is officially up.
Oh, it's going to happen.
He's chatting. I can't wait to see what the reaction is. And
get ready for the genius takes.
It's going to be so, yeah. I'm telling you, in 15 minutes, everybody's going to be like, yeah, I'm over him being 24 years old. He's a whiz kid. He's a genius. He's the next Lincoln Riley. So looking at Bracket Matrix this morning, by the way, Creighton has, after their win last night, quad 1 win at Seton Hall. Claps for quad 1 wins.
Let's go.
Has cracked the top 10 on Ken Palm. At 16-8, they've cracked the top 10. Good. Yeah. So then you check Bracket Matrix. Is okay. How they look for the tournament? They're a 7 seed. And my only takeaway from Creighton being projected as a 7 seed, and there's a lot of time. I don't believe they'll be a 7 seed. I think they'll be higher than that or better than that in the NCAA tournament. My only takeaway from seeing that Creighton's a 7 seed or projected as one in the NCAA tournament right now, based on their current resume, is the following. If I'm a 2 seed, I'm losing my mind.
Absolutely.
I'd be so pissed.
Like right now, I know we got to be quick. In the Denver Regional, Creighton plays USC in the first round, according to bracketology. They would play 2 seed Texas in the next round, and then they would play Miami.
They already went down to the wire with Texas, and they didn't shoot the ball at all, and they didn't have Ryan Kalkbrenner.
And then in the next round,
they didn't have Kalkbrenner in that game.
Right. They would play Marquette or Miami in the...
No, they had Kalkbrenner. He just was sick. Sorry, I apologize.
Next round. You tell me that Creighton couldn't beat Miami or Marquette?
Yeah. I mean, Marquette is tricky.
Well, yeah, but you would like your chances because you know that enemy, right?
The other 7s on the Bracket Matrix are Providence, Iowa, and Auburn. Yeah, Creighton's better than each of those teams.
San Diego State, Maryland, and Duke are 7 seeds, according to bracketology.
Defense is coming together. By the way, just one quick. We'll speed through the poll questions. Creighton's defense, number 13 in adjusted efficiency right now. Great. If you have a number 13 in the country adjusted efficiency defense, plus shot makers like Baylor Shireman and Arthur Kaluma and Brian Kalkbrenner and Brian Nemhard, and let's just go Trey Alexander too. You're going to be in a pretty good spot. I'm very high on the Blue Jays right now. Big game on Saturday. We'll talk about that, of course, tomorrow. Poll questions. Do you remember Jeremy Shockey? I do. Of course I do. 90% agree.
One of those first tight ends that became a receiver,
Do I look like Gimli from Lord of the Rings? Picture attached.
I see it, but ultimately I'd go no.
I would go no as well. I imagine this is going to come back at least 75% yes.
Ooh.
72% yes. Is Connor Happer a true ginger? I vote no, but I know how this is coming back. Also, 73% say yes. Beard fades. Yes. Bad take by Schreiner.
I agree.
Rare L from Schreiner. 52% say no. Maybe not an L for Schreiner. Do the Padres appreciate old people? It feels as if they do.
Data tells me yes.
They're spending money. I vote yes. 64% say no.
Ooh.
And this is my favorite one of the day because it involves no context whatsoever. Did you study that like the Zapruder film? I did.
I did not.
You didn't? You didn't watch him run out?
I watched it once and I went,
Casey did the breakdown.
I saw that.
Did you see Thomas Fedoni and his
tattoo? No, I did not.
Well,
I mean,
so
I watched.
You would vote no here then.
I watched the video, but
yeah. Yes is my answer. 76% say no. Very sad. Not true fans, I say. Well, one quick text here. That's Coach Tiny Baby Boy to you. Show some respect.
Fair.
Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching TNT tonight for the NBA. Not for the games, but probably more for the inside the NBA tonight. Trade deadline. I don't know who's playing for the teams that are playing. Bulls Nets at 6:30, followed by Bucks Lakers at 9 o'clock. Again, I don't know who's playing them in those games, but
nobody's playing.
I will listen to Charles Barkley's takes on LeBron and the trade deadline.
You could create like 6 NBA franchises of teams who are just flying across, of players who are just flying today.
In the air right now.
Yeah. The all in the air team.
College basketball, Omaha at North Dakota State tonight at 7. Coverage begins at 6:30 on our sister station, 1290. You can actually watch this one on ESPN Plus if you'd like. Iowa at number 1 Purdue, 6 o'clock on ESPN. And a nightcap, 10 o'clock on the Deuce. USC at Oregon. Hockey, Avalanche at the Lightning, 6 o'clock on ESPN. People forget, NFL Honors is tonight. We will know the MVP by the time we go to bed. I think we already know it, but yeah. 8 o'clock, NBC and NFL Network. Kelly Clarkson hosts the festivities this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She does?
She does. Noted football fan.
Noted celebrity chef, according
Yes.
to Steve Sipple.
That's right. And finally, Connor, I'm going to trigger you because at 9 o'clock tonight on True TV and TBS, it is the season 10 premiere of
Impractical Jokers.
Impractical Jokers. Sal, Q, and Murr are joined by celebrity guests. I want you to try and guess. I know we got to get out of here, but just give me a quick like C-list celebrity that might be on Impractical Jokers.
Dak Shepard.
That's a very good guess with his punked background, but no, it's Bret Michaels.
Oh, God, even worse than I thought.
Bret Michaels is going to prank some guys.
I very much look forward to my favorite show, Impractical Jokers, where you can watch mid-40-year-old men just cackle for a half hour if you'd like.
It's on 2 networks now.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're not watching tonight. And that is the show. If you missed anything, it was a fun show today. Go check out Dave Tollefson with his stories about the Super Bowl. 1620thezone.com. Crossover is next.
Live from the